Hello and welcome back to another day of LPL action. How's it going, everyone? Let's get ready for our lower bracket today. This is where we get eliminations. Top Esports versus WE, a matchup with 5 games in the Night's Rival stage, the play-in towards playoffs. I'm not entirely sure what's changed since then for both these teams. If anything, I think Top Esports have looked a little, well, have they looked a little better? Some of their drafts were not fantastic. I wonder. This should be a close series. We went 5 games the last time. I think Top Esports, they have some definite highs. They have some strengths to their team. But I'm not without my worries for them. Particularly that draft has been killer for them. Realistically, folks, Top Esports could, and maybe should, have beaten JDG. I think they were actually a better set of players for most of the games in that series. Not by a crazy amount, I think probably, 3.5 games out of 5 they were the better players. The game that they lost in Game 4 versus Hongqiu Zoe was a hard draft to play. They fell behind early and they almost outplayed their way to win that series. Not been following LPL much this year. Who are the favourites? Well, currently we have 3 teams that stand above the rest. We have BLG and Anyone's Legend, and then JDG. Those are the 3 teams which we thought at the start of the year they might be our top 3, and they have ended up being that. Oh, I'll play, thank you. Your favourites, Nymaera? I missed yesterday, so I was getting tattooed, but it seems I didn't miss much. Well, you saw Viper and On have their best series yet. Shun and Knight were on really good form too. BLG were on really good form. That's the thing which you missed. You missed the, you missed BLG, like, finding their stride yesterday. No worries, Blade. No worries. Thanks for hopping in, everyone. And thanks for the streak there as well, Montes. Oh yeah, so, hey, Angie as well. How's it going? So, I've got Sam and I've got basically a birthday to be at after stream. I think it's about 5 o'clock our time. We'll have to travel there. So basically, folks, if I'm not gonna be able to play that much Resi today is the thing. So I'm gonna be yeah. So I guess I'll keep playing up until 4 Central European time. So if this is a long series, I won't get much Resi time in today. I played 5 hours of it yesterday. I was hoping to get like another 5-hour chunk in today, but not quite as much time today. Okay, I'm gonna go quickly get ready in the background, and I'll be back with you in just a second.
Hello， 各位好，欢迎来到赛前采访，我是松崎。我们邀请到了滔博的打野选手奶油，先跟大家打个招呼吧。
大家好，我是滔博打野奶油。
欢迎奶油。那么在上一轮比赛结束之后，相信你们做了很多复盘调整嘛？大家主要围绕哪些方面想要去提升进步呢？
还是中期跟中上的一些兵线运营的。
那今天这一场比赛对阵西安 WE， 相信双方都志在必得。你觉得制胜关键会是什么？
主要还是看两边打野的一个节奏吧。
好的，比赛加油！同样，我们也邀请到了西安 WE 的辅助选手瑶瑶，先跟大家打个招呼吧。
大家好，我是西安曲江 WE 的辅助选手瑶瑶。
欢迎瑶瑶。那么在上一轮比赛结束之后，你们做了哪些努力和准备呢？包括说心态上以及游戏内容上，希望怎样应对接下来的挑战？
上一轮结束之后，我们就正视自己的不足吧，然后把失误都改进好，然后好好准备好下一把就好了。
今天这场比赛对阵滔博可以说是不容有失，对上他们，你觉得需要注意到哪些方面呢？
就注意好，我们自己下路的对线吧，然后和打野和还有团战上的配合。
好的，比赛加油！
观看2026英雄联盟职业联赛第一赛段，您可以通过英雄联盟客户端、掌上英雄联盟及英雄联盟赛事官网 LPL.QQ.com、虎牙直播、哔哩哔哩直播、腾讯视频、腾讯体育、新浪微博、微信视频号进行收看。电视机前的召唤师可以通过百视通平台收看全程赛事。上京东搜京东电竞直播，赢千元耳机和游戏手办。穿李宁日进斗金系列，祝你峡谷稳赢，马年旺到飞起！开一局吗？开就开！感谢提供全场保护的杜蕾斯，今晚持久战力开一局。Sky Motor 手机电动，快人一步，稳赢一路。TCL 全屋智慧家电，峡谷英雄敢为不凡。2026 LPL 官方指定家电产品。更受电竞用户喜欢的能量饮料，醒神好喝，当然占吧。傲风电竞椅，职业战队的选择，想赢做傲风。
让我们欢迎 Top Esports 西安 Team WE。 滔博、奶油、Crane、佳琪、风月、队长369。欢迎西安 WE、Cube、Chorus、About、瑶瑶、队长 Monkey。欢迎来到苏州高铁新城羊城国际电竞馆 LPL 第一赛段淘汰赛第5日比赛，滔博对阵西安 WE 即将开始。
Okay, Sam has gone out to get some milk, but I'm here to cast some League of Legends. Sam will be back in just a second, folks, don't you worry. I just realised I could quite like caffeine today. And Sam's gonna go out and get some stuff for us. All good by me. Well, folks, let's get locked in for another day of LPL action. Does that mean we'll never see Sam again? No, he'll be here. No, it's just realised that didn't have any milk for today, and I quite like that with my coffee. Sam's got... Wait, Sam will be back at some point. In like 5-10 minutes. But we're going to get milk is the term we used to mean they left. It's also the term that we use when someone goes to get milk. That's not the only time where we see someone's gone to get milk. Oh, God. So did my dad 20 years ago. Shush. Shush. No, he's legitimately going out to get dairy product. To go with our caffeinated beverage. Oh God, it's not that deep. Oh Christ. Oh, you're all too funny. But yeah, folks, if you didn't see yesterday, it was a really good series to see. You know, Viper get knighted, so that's Sir Viper. That would be via BLG's carries. They were fantastic. Yeah, Knights and Viper were crazy. I think that the bot lane 3v3, so bot lane plus jungle coming down, was the best that I've seen from BLG since 2024. It's really, really cool. Hey, I restrained myself on those jokes. Oh God, yeah. Oh gosh. Okay, well, we're into our draft. Let's get cracking. Oh, I love the music and draft for this split. Our draft music for LPL has been very, very cool. Okay, top esports will have first pick, WE being the team which started off in lower bracket, or rather would drop down to it earlier, will be the ones who have to kind of pick up the slack here. They lost to top esports in that first round. Nico, Orianna, Azir is available, Varus, Rumble. Those three look very important to me. Even things like the Rise have been first picked at points. Jarvan last man, so not wanting to trade something like the Rumble for the Jarvan. Or the Jarvan for the Rumble. Rumble is first picked. Cube may go for the Varus top lane into it. Now, did we see that in game 1 of their series? Yeah, we did, and that was when 369 played the Gragas into it, for those that remember. So WE have the chance to put the Varus top lane into the Rumble. It is a counter-pick top lane matchup. And they can still lock something different into that bot lane. Pantheon for Nio for some global pressure. Kali has sometimes been the counter into the Azir. Yone has been too, though, so they're giving over Karis, a powerful champion. But the Yone Rumble is terrifying at reaching that Varus. Varus hates playing into the Yone. If the Yone ever reaches him, he dies. Poppy would be a takeaway from Fengyue from later in the series. He is a very, very good Poppy. In fact, Poppy's been very high ban rate across LPL playoffs so far. Azir Varus is best in slot last year. It's been best in slot for a lot of this year too, I think. These carries have just been very powerful for a very long time. You know, I think that Varus, Azir, Yunara, Orianna, they've all been... Well, Yunara's been top tier for pretty much the entirety of her release now. As in, like, S tier and pro play. She's terrible in... I will get hydrated, by the way, thank you. Yunara, you know, you've noticed to hit that ban table again. I'm so surprised that they've managed to dodge nerfs in this last patch. Second round. 80 carries being banned away from Jachi. Reminder that top esports might assume that the Varus is going top lane. So top users have a bit of a hard time judging out what they should ban. They do ban out a Cassante. I mean, if I were WE, is the Poppy going to keep you safe enough from a Yone Pantheon Rumble Engage composition. Well, it'll stop the Pantheon, not really stop the Yone if he ults at you. Misfortune man away from Jetchi, one of his stronger laners. Now, if the Varus did go bot lane, you wouldn't have Misfortune. You could go Sivir. Sivir would be fine. Tends to work pretty okay versus the Varus. Morgana would do a lot of work here. Which team, actually? Interested which team you think they're for. Yeah, I think the Varus is probably going top lane. Top Esports banned away some top laners. The Varus is going into that top lane now. I think Top Esports knew this. And Top Esports still basically said, doesn't matter. We just wanted to make sure you don't have a strong front line. They have a double AD carry, triple squishy backline composition right now. So Top Esports just banned away the tanks to say, you're not having a front line. We will engage onto you and one-shot you at some point. Talked about that Sivir being quite good into poke champions, the Varus specifically. It's good into the Jhin as well, though. Do you lock in alongside it? Another heavy engage piece would work quite nicely. And obviously the Alistar and the Yolanda versus the Poppy are a little bit skew-if. But you need some way to start fights. Alistar is the one that can engage and not die as easily. Does lose you some laning phase pressure. What this does is it gives you a takeaway. I mean, Alistar on the other side would have been fairly annoying if the Poppy went into jungle. Now the Poppy could go support and they could pick out they could pick out a tank jungle actually. Might not be a bad time to lock in something like the Skarner for Monkey. Now just give yourself some front line. No way. Is that actually a legit hover? That would be so fun for laning phase. You would die immediately in any team fight. It's the Bard. Could you imagine a Vel'Koz support in playoffs? Damn, that would have been crazy. Is the Sivir ult a huge help for Rakan ult? Well, it's not. Well, were you expecting Rakan to be locked in there? Well, Rakan would have been fairly lane dominant. Ma'am, you guys are no longer fighting each other. They're on the same team now. Yeah, Angie's favorite champions of Jhin and Darius, two of them. Find a way to slot a Xayah into the comp. Okay, that's your drafts. I think Top Esports look at a team with very low tank, and they're pretty happy because they can burst them out. The Bard ultimate might be able to save from some of the wombo combo. I think on the whole, WWE find themselves in a similar situation to JDG Top Esports first game. It wasn't W Top Esports, it was JDG Top Esports. Up in that upper bracket. Game 1, where JDG locked in a 0 frontline composition, 369 locked in something like a Gragas, and they just kind of full engaged onto them time after time. Let's get into game, folks. See who takes the lead in the series. Good morning, just finished with garden work and the game starts. What a coincidence. Well, it's time for our work too. And these players to earn their place. Stun onto Jatchi. Not connecting onto the wall, just that Q damage from the Bard. Monkey, damaged here at the level 1 by Cream. So Monkey's going to be half HP on his clear. Does mean if there's any fights on the first clear, or any fights for bot Scuttle Crab, for instance, Poppy may be lower HP. I need to... Do you heal up to full by the end of your clear like that? Jungle does get a lot of sustain. That's just one of those things which yeah. Remember as much. Anyway, getting electrocuted. Getting damaged an awful lot. He's eating so much damage there. Sivir trying to get access to the wave. Not being given access to it, though. Fungio was trying to give him a chance to auto-attack reset. They've lost too much HP, though. Yeah, even gets another Q onto him, so Fungio is going to be very low HP as he walks into it. Jacci needs a Q there too. One of the big issues with Top Esports is that Jacci and Fungio are very bad when they fall behind the game. Jacci has been one of our most exciting AD carries when ahead of it. Feels like a Jackie love. with the way that he aggressively plays out. Fungway was thinking about channeling a recall there, actually. Or perhaps baiting them into thinking he was. Actually will finally get himself an ability to hit those minions with a ricochet. Couldn't do that outside the tower, though, which is a problem. So, Poppy, Pantheon, both of them going bot side. Oh, interesting thing just happened from Nio. He was on vision. He just used the blast cone to avoid the ward that they knew that they had in that Raptor Brush. Did you see that top side? He used the blast cone to go closer to his own Nexus and not go through that ward. So there's a chance that WE don't know where Nio is going. Will that lead to much? Well, no, probably not. Probably not, but it's interesting to see that Nio knew about that vision. While this is happening, Cube is just pushing into topside, the virus into the Rumble. No surprises there. Yeah, going back around. Oh, he's going into the enemy jungle, maybe. No, he's coming out onto Jachi. He comes through, gives him a heal. Palace to Sivir, typically a very strong laning duo. I think they messed up the level 1 fairly hard amount, though. They gave the gave too many free auto attacks to About and Yao. Hey, Vistian, thanks for the streak. Appreciate you. Imagine having a garden. Hey, gardens are nice. I think it's nice to be able to kind of like have an outdoor space to make for something yourself. You know, make something for yourself rather, regardless of what that might be. Maybe it's having a barbecue. Maybe it's having a flower patch. Tell you what, if you want to start growing plants, chilies are a pretty good one to start growing. They're pretty easy to grow. You can grow them inside actually. They grow pretty quickly. Don't really take that much attention. No action on our first clear. Had no summoners blown. We've got culls coming in for both the AD carries of the Jhin and the Sivir. Dark Seal for 369, interestingly. You don't always see that on the Rumble. In fact, that's one of the champions you don't see much on. Cream missing the Q3. Cream, I say this now as he did just miss a Q right on screen. He is a very confident Yone player. Had a good game of this versus JDG in the upper bracket against Top Esports. Their draft disappointed me more than anything else in that series versus JDG. I actually think the players were maybe even better than JDG. I think that JDG struggled a lot in that series. Hang on, Exhaust brought out by Cream to get a really hard winning trade versus Karis. Doesn't get the knock up there though. So it's not going to be the end of all things. Fungo going forwards for a potential combo. Nio has been headbutted right. Or rather, Yayo has been headbutted right into Yayo. So I get the names in the correct order. Fungo, not bad there. Heal used from him. Heal used from Yayo. What this means is that Jachi and Fungo finally get to shove in. They were about 10 CS down. Helpful for them to get a bit more help to fix their lane. Nice time efficient gank from Nio. Hey Katari, good to see you. No worries Katari, I hope you feel better soon. And enjoy lurking. We'll be here all day. Reminder for those folks who weren't here yesterday, I've started a playthrough of Resident Evil Requiem, which I'm going to start keep playing after game days here. That'll be on Twitch, so if you're on YouTube, and you do want to watch something like that, a little bit of variety, that won't be on YouTube. Played about 5 hours of it yesterday, and I was thoroughly impressed. Potential magical journey down in towards that bot side, getting the Poppy into the play. Flash away from Fungo to make sure there's no double stun potential from the Bard. Jachi spell shields one bit, uses the barrier for another. Big damage onto them. What's the wave state like? It's good. It's crashed into the tower. They can recall for free. Just losing the 2 summoners. Could have been worse for them there. Good entry, though, from Yaya to allow Monkey into the bot lane. Fun fact about Resident Evil, by the way. I only found this out when I was kind of looking up stuff for the upcoming game release. And, you know, I've seen bits and pieces about the franchise before. I didn't realize that in Japan it's called Biohazard. It's only referred to as Resident Evil with the English word. Which makes a lot more sense, because the whole game's about, you know, infections and bio stuff and blah, blah, blah. Hang on, potential of a magical journey into mid lane now. They did a bot lane, so why not try it somewhere else? Great ult by Cream. Very quick reactions on that. I think he knows that if Azir is going to shuffle in that position, there's probably a fight happening. Very quick ult, gets him to safety. So ult for ult, nothing else. Why is Monkey not playing Wukong? A fair question. A fair question. You know, funnily enough, in 25, he was really bad on Wukong. We went something like 1-9 on the pick in 2025. 369 was potentially looking to freeze the wave, but now Pantheon's up here. Poppy ult flings him right back. Flash rate for 369. Yeah, really well played there from Monkey to make sure that one person's just completely out of the play. The W does land onto Jachi, and he doesn't have a barrier. He flashes away, and I don't think it'll matter. It's the Bard who'll get the job done. Gets the first blood onto Jachi, hit by that Jin W. Meant that the first shot of the ultimate was guaranteed to land. Jachi, a player who's so exciting, but definitely not a player you want to see behind the game. He's not very good when things start to go wrong for him. That my laptop still has volume on it, so my Discord boops are coming through. Nio starting up this dragon. Don't think there'll be any contest here from WE. One of the things about Yaya roaming so much is that he's very low experience, so typically Bard makes up that with his Chime passive. Hasn't managed to do so here, so Fungyue is now at level 6, Yaya's at level 4. Fungyue has, however, gained more experience, or rather taken more experience from Jachi, who's now 2 levels down, or at least a level and a half, which is led to 2 on the actual scoreboard against a bout. So Jachi is very, very unhappy. We were saying, look, top Esports, good draft, very good burst composition versus WE's squishier team. But when you fall this far behind in laning phase, which for the record you absolutely shouldn't, by the way. Ooh, good reactions by Cream. No damage from that ultimate coming through. Potential of him ulting on the next E cooldown against the Azir now. Fungyue wrapping around bot side. There is both summoners up from about. Does he have to use both of them? We shall see. Flash ult used by the Alistar starts taking aggro. Will back away from tower though, realizing how dangerous the situation is. Now jumping forwards onto Yao Yao. Doesn't have summoners himself. Not bad damage from the Ricochet there either. And that's a good Comet Spear. Perhaps now with them not taking aggro, they can look a little bit further. There's a flash from Nio. He's going to look for it. And he won't quite get the kill at the first. We'll get the barrier out and then get the kill after. 1 kill for them. It's taking a while for them to get the kills now, though. Fungyue might have to be the sacrificial cow here. Doesn't get the Q on target, and that means that Nio will die on the retreat. 2 for 1 in the early game, 1 for 1 in the play. Top Esports do get the kill onto a bout. Who gets that kill there? Karis gets the kill onto Nio. Whereas Nio picked up the kill himself, so the Azir a bit more gold in pocket. Cream got himself 2 plates from mid lane, so he's not behind in gold, though. What does Varus top even build? He builds Dusk and Dawn for an AP on hit build. Dusk and Dawn is a new item from this year, which gives you a Sheen passive, of a Sheen active, I suppose, of when you cast a spell, your next auto attack will give you some extra damage, but then also double apply on hit effects. Which means that Varus can very quickly get to 3 stacks of his passive and then just do crazy damage because it's an AP item as well. It's an AP Spellblade with double on hit ability. Then you go towards stuff like the Nash's Tooth and the Rage Blade and stuff afterwards. Plenty of different items you can go there. But it basically means that if you get into extended fights, just your W passive, which you max first because it's an AP build, does insane damage. So you have good on-hit value. Hang on, ultimate's coming towards bot side. There is a magical journey. Will it be enough? It's pretty close. Do they have the Bard Q? No, they don't. About. He's used his summoners in the last time of it. Great ult coming through from Nio. And it'll be a kill to top Esports. This time picked up by Jachi. So he'll get himself slightly ahead of About, despite the laning phase going well for About and Yaya. Very well for them. Jachi and Fungyue not liking that, but Nio's now bailed them out with a couple of visits bot side. The gold as a team is completely even. You have far too many points. Folks, you guys are going to have to give me some ideas, because I'm not very creative with this, of what I should use channel points for. Because like, we can do like prediction brackets and blah, 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 but there's got to be something you spend the actual points onto. Ult into mid lane. Karis has his own. The Emperor's Divide will be used And though there is an Ignite drop from Feng he will live. He's out of lane, though. Does that matter for anything? No, I don't think so, really. Jin was so much better off with Ghost or Cleanse. Cleanse doesn't... Well, Cleanse can be a bit of an issue against the... Well, you think that the Poppy would be able to save you with that. Poppy can't save themselves, though. It does have the Poppy ultimate. Gets 2 away, but it won't be enough to get all of them. Top Esports will find a kill onto the enemy jungle in the topside river. I think at this point, Top Esports feel very, very happy. They have a composition which may have fallen behind in laning phase. The Varus versus the Rumble you expect to be very far behind, and it just hasn't happened. And bot lane, as we saw, the Jhin and the Bard is a strong lane. But outside of that, you get late enough into the game, and Top Esports have a crazy amount of damage onto a very squishy team. And on the other side, WE, well, I suppose they have pretty good damage too. It's just that it's into the Alistar and the Pantheon E, which can sometimes be enough to survive stuff like the Jhin Varus combo. So WE, how are they going to problem solve their way through this? Because at this point, Top Esports are comfortable, very comfortable in fact. We could bring back OPGG reviews, game request gambles, 1v1s. I need to have stuff that I can do during an LPL stream, is the thing. Because the thing about OPGG review... Well, OPGG I guess I could do during stream. Game reviews I can't really do during LPL because they take too much time. So they do. Hang on a second. Request the E goes back. So I need something I can do mid-LPL stream is the problem. Because that's what I'm spending the majority of my time streaming. Bit of vision control from the side of W. Thank you for the follow there, Tobias. Hope you're doing well. Feng Yue, going into the bot side row. Potential of a wall stun here. Does he have an ultimate? He does. Doesn't have to use it. Loses half his HP though for the trouble. He'll have to recall if he wants to fight around this dragon. You should do that ASAP. Gets cancelled on the first one. Realizes that he's recalled a little too far up. 4-man unit from WE going towards this dragon. Top Esports, do they want to fight for this anyway? Perhaps Karis could sweep back here. There's a Bard ult used, flash away by Nio. Dragon started up. The thing is, with that play, Alistar might be able to come back to the play now. Cream going to shove out mid lane. No contest. Top Esports lose a couple of summoners, lose some HP. Just say, no, better off not fighting for this one. Another plate in mid lane will be the prize for Cream. Biased cast for a bit. Could have a think about that, I suppose. Hang on, potential of Pantheon ults onto top lane. Do they need to do that? I guess not. No one else is coming up for the side of WE. Oh, if Varus dies in laning phase, that's a problem. He's put onto the equalizer. It's a red carpet. And they'll get the kill over to the Pantheon. 2-1 and 2 for Nio. Nio and Feng Yue doing quite a good job of roaming across the map there. Top Esports find themselves with almost 1,000 gold lead. Reminder, folks, that this series between the two of them, WE Top Esports, went to 5 games in the Knights Road stage. WE lost to Top Esports in a 3-2 series and had to find another way to qualify. They did that versus LNG. Then WE lost versus Anyone's Legend in brutal fashion in round 1 rather. WE were at the hands of the second fastest win in LPL history in a best of 5. It was about 74 minutes of total game time. Disgusting series from Anyone's Legend. Top Esports on the other side lost their round 1 matchup versus JDG. That was a 5-game series for them though, much closer. And as we were saying, Top Esports, their drafts gave us a lot to be worried about, but actually in terms of their gameplay, the Top Esports were not a bad team. They were not a bad team at all. Yeah. Walking out of the side. I'm not 100% sure about that, but does get the stun, allows an auto attack for a bout. I think I heard a Sam coming back though. He might be graced by his presence. Herald started. There is a Poppy ultimate. Bard ultimate's used as well. Cream's the one that hops out of. That's a very good counsel from Feng Realize the Poppy ult's getting channeled, uses the combo so he can't get him out of the play. Karis has gone in, gets good damage down, but dies for the attempt. I think that WE are winning the damage check, though. I say that 369 has been blasting someone on the backline. The rest of the fight, though, going very well for WE. They do end up winning the fight, even though they lose 2 in the background. It's a 4-for-2 for WE. Surprisingly so. A good Bard ult open things up. Yaoyo, on the whole, having a very good Bard game. A player who I think has been overshadowed by a lot of other support play in this split so far. We'll go back to see what happened in the replay. Because initially I thought, well, Feng going onto the Monkey, it looks pretty good there, but then Karis gets onto the backline, gets damage onto both carries, importantly so. Gets great damage down at the very start of that fight, and then it allows Cube to kind of walk forward, because you forget that it isn't just the 180 carry, there's 2. Karis Hoffman making a return. Sam, as you come back in. How's it going?
It's going well.
Sam did actually come back after going to leave from. Hang on, that's a 1v1 in top side, and it goes 1 for 1. There's both Cube and 369. Wow. Make some fireworks happen.
Indeed, I left the milk chat, and I did in fact return.
Good, good. I'm happy for you, Sam.
There's a chair in America for what you can see.
Well, you need to come over. I already know that Sam will complain about this. This is the thing.
It's true.
I'm already aware that he will complain about how things are right now. This WE credit to them. First big team fight of the game. I thought, well, you know, top esports, good team fight composition. You know, you've got Yone, Rumble that can get onto the backline. Karis, the one that really saved that fight. Here's the 1v1 in top side as
Oh,
I'm so sorry. I was completely missing what happened there. As Nio's not the top laner, of course. So Cube gets the 1 kill and then goes 1 for 1 after. This is a 2 for 1 for Cube. My apologies, Cube. Great play from him. If you want to know why Varus top lane is played like this, it's like this. Dodges both the Qs, both the Es. Gets the last kill with the Hail of Arrows. Awesome play by Cube. 2 for 1 on the top side.
Phenomenal work, and now he finds himself 4-2 in a good position. Cube taking on after Hoya, and then seeing this Varus top. Of course, anyone who was watching LCS last night, we had Irelia, Varus, Vayne from Dokla, all of which were wins. There's a few of these top laners who've been finding some cool options in the top lane, and that Dawn and Dusk providing some serious value. But it does actually leave now WE with a fairly decent gold lead, considering where they were in the game not so long ago.
Yeah, they would have liked this earlier is one of the things. He does have that 2 items fight as Cube, and he's going to be a problem. Top esports, I do think, have a very good composition to reach the long-range backline with the Rumble and the Yone. Both good players of these champions too. Dragon is up now. WE will look for another grouped up fight to win. They've been playing well at that so far. The Bard ult and Poppy causing good disruption, even though I thought initially WE would be too squishy to stand up in the 5v5s.
Dragon now spawned. WE are the ones on it. They've got double AD carries, so will disappear quite quickly with the addition of an Azir. Nash's tooth. Poppy misses her keeper's verdict, though. And WE just have to leave the pit. The equalizer a little bit too threatening. Tempered Fate denies the Dragon. Take the Change of Corruption also went wide, though. Cream, Unbound his soul. Rebinds it again now. Nio with the Comet Spear. Smite combo will secure the Dragon. No Spite involved quite yet, but this looks a little bit more mean-spirited as About brings down Flongyue. She also eats a 4th shot. There's not quite enough damage to get anything more than a little magical journey. Short hop through that boulder. W would take a kill as penance for the Dragon going against them.
Saying something, the kind of I guess covering of a recapping, was saying kind of overall in this series. Now, top esports I thought looked actually very good versus JDG. This might be somewhat controversial given how good JDG have looked. If you go back and watch that series of top esports JDG, I think top esports were actually the better players than JDG across just about the average of the series. I think it was fairly close, but then I think top esports were held back a lot by their draft, especially when you look at the game 2, the game 4, it was very hard to play out. I think that top esports, they are a team which people might sleep on in terms of those players, really. However, that was what we were thinking before the series. You look at here in game 1, though, Karis is having, despite a bit of a rocket lane phase, a good game. Monkey's been put behind, but he's important too. And they're starting the Baron here, Sam. This is important. Doing it off of Vision. They have that Azir, and the Poppy ult could fling away the Smite Steal. In fact, no, it's on cooldown. They can't do it.
Cannot get in there in time. Nio finally gets in, but it is too little too late. The Baron has gone. Flash away from WE. The Aegis Assault means that Nio doesn't need too much damage. Flash forward from Feng though. Gets the headbutt, the pulverized Cube trying to trade out well, but he doesn't quite have enough damage as he's shuffled away and flattened the rest of WE. Top esports have Sivir claim the kills.
There's an equalizer. They could use that. I'm not sure 369 will get a kill angle here. He's going to be able to stop some recalls and keep them off the map. So that's 2 dead for the Baron. I mean, W will absolutely still take it. It's an early Baron take from WE. Normally you wait another couple of minutes. It's too tanky, too damaging at the start of it. But you do have an Azir, which helps your Baron damage an awful lot. And of course the Varus too. Crazy percent HP damage on that W when you start proccing it. Top Esports now find themselves at a point where they have to defend against a triple Baron buff. Dragon's not up for another 3 minutes. They can't answer with that. Top Esports now will need to find a way to kind of split up the enemy team and see if they can get rid of some of the remaining Baron buffs.
There is also a lot of standing gold. Only 2 turrets gone means that actually WE can theoretically shove for 2, 3 turrets here quite happily. There's not a lot that really Top Esports can do about that. My imagination. It's currently a negative 2,000 gold Baron power play, so it's not exactly been the greatest advent of gold for WE of all time as yet. Still got time to turn that around. Only a minute and a half or so to work with that, assuming Yao Yao isn't caught here, but he is, of course, a bard and has a magical journey.
Yeah, Yaya's been good. I think in terms of my player of the game right now, Sam, I think it probably is Yaya. Yaya's had a very good laning phase. It forced Judge and Feng very far behind. He's had good impact in all of our team fights so far. He's been roaming across the map. Yaya's had a very good bard game. Mid lane turret about to fall.
Actually needs to be a bit careful here. He's actually going to burn the ult and the barrier, and they're all caught by a tempered fate. Jachi has to flash, punt back onto the monkey there from the side of that.
Oh,
just
monkey!
About tries to get out and can't.
Monkey goes down to a tower shot, but Yao again has a great bottle. He's doing the work. Cream coming across the flank now, trying to get into the clump.
Okay, Seal goes wide as flash to burn, but it is 2 of them, both AD carried, forced to use that summoner. Cream flashing on the back end of it, away from that deadly flourish. Kara's flashed over the wall, but it's into Cream's loving embrace. The equalizer after, it's getting hot and steamy in here. As Feng Yue looks at the hop, the headbutt, the pulverize. Nio will claim that one about. Is dead. Yao Yao needs to run, but there's a Comet Spirit. Heal just about keeps Yao Yao in one piece. But remember, that's still a Pantheon. He's a lot faster on his feet than most other champions. But the Binding Eclipse, sorry, the Cosmic Binding, no Aphelios in this game. We'll still see Top Esports with a major win.
WE will lose their Baron buff now. They work really hard for it, but they fall 2.6k behind. Folks, justice for Yao Yao. He gets a 3-pad ultimate in mid lane, and Monkey dies on the push anyway. It's not been the finest game from Monkey, despite some good Poppy ultimates. He's fallen very far behind, and now Cream walking the cube. There's an exhaust on the Varus, onto him. Cream looking for the 1v1.
Picks up that exhaust and just wins that 1v1. Cream knew the assignment, said, eventually, I'll be 1v1ing you, mate. So I just have to take this one for the laning phase and see how you like it.
Exactly. The Yone using that into the Azir. Very useful into the Varus too. So just watch this again. You know, Jachi not had the easiest time of things himself. It's a very good bard ult, Sam. It's a really good bard ult. And then Monkey gets bopped under turret by Feng Yue, and he chooses to stick under that, walking forwards. And then gets punted out. I think he still had E up. He could have E'd backwards before that point. A misjudgment from Monkey, but a really good play from Feng Yue. I think the Alistair gameplay, despite the early laning phases, ended up being pretty good. Cream, I mean, thank God for W that he didn't land that double ult for them, really. Otherwise, it would have been even worse. It's kind of crazy to me that, you know, they managed to get down Jachi very early. They managed to dodge the Yone ult, but it still goes this poorly.
I feel like Karras, though, just had to give himself up for dead there. I don't quite get what the thought process was flashing, because he knew that Cream was around that part of the jungle. Did you really think you were escaping there? There is now a Dragon going down. The Equalizer is going to zone WE off. There is a Redemption healing them back up, but that will now be sold point for Top Esports, as Niall will finish that one up over the next 20 seconds or so. 3 items for Sivir, 3 for Nio. In fact, 3 most places you can look, aside from the Yone, who does have to build some quite expensive items, really, in the grand scheme of things. Nearly at that Infinity Edge zone, Cream has already become a bit of a menace, 30 CS up. I think he is just the CS leader in the game, and indeed is. So once that Infinity Edge comes in, we have all seen what Yones do once they hit that particular breakpoint. And spoilers, it largely leads to dying. The Temper Fate does go wide, but Nio was left alone under this turret. It's going to be left very low, but has in fact got more of Malmortius than an Agent Assault, so it's actually kind of just fine. And Cream, all the while, he's living a simple life, Alex. It's the simple life of a farmer. A man of his talents.
We were this close to greatness, Sam. We were this close, Cube. Almost that greatness in this game with that 2v1, 1v2 earlier. Can't quite manage it. Will go down again. This was my worry for WE's team composition. It is so fragile. And even moments like this, you just watch this and think, well, if Top East was just fling one person into the play, it's probably dead. Yao is caught out, likely dead with no flash.
Ow, ow.
Yeah, and yeah, we just remove the, you remove the Y, just says, ow, ow.
And in fact, he is asking why this game. Why? Why me?
Why do I?
I was going to try and put a player name in there, but I didn't have one that would fit quite right. Delilah. It's 3 syllables.
Yeah, we don't quite have an A2 Brute here.
Yeah.
Not quite.
How about Six Semper Tyrannis? How about that one?
Which one's that?
That is what Brutus says to Caesar after he says A2 Brute.
Oh, really?
It means thus always under tyrants.
Oh, gosh. Well, okay, I don't know how I didn't know that, 'cause that's a very famous phrase.
Oh, yes.
I'm aware of that phrase is famous. I just couldn't remember the context of it. And also, it goes hard as hell.
It is.
What the hell?
Six Semper Tyrannis.
Thus always onto tyrants. Oh, that's a banger. Damn. I need to read some more classics, Sam. I need to.
It's a good one.
Clearly, I need to be more well-read.
Also, hello, chat. I realise I've not actually said hello to you guys properly yet.
I did move the chat over. You've been moved, chat. I'm sorry. We've had to renovate the desk a little bit. As in, like, I just moved some stuff off it to put the laptop there. So
That's
Sam
okay.
can see that. All good.
Baron?
Yeah. Baron's up there, and Top Esports will be looking to take this down without a contest, really. With about dead, WE don't really have as much presence in these team fights. I know it's like the Mosquito build and he is 1 and 5. You still don't want to fight without your 3-item AD carry.
I'm also going to put this out there. I see the sled in inventory for Yao Yao, and I know a lot of bards do this. I've been enjoying the blood razor bards that some of our more aggressive members have been doing, and this is what happened to About.
Died. Oh,
Cream.
that's a full combo from a Yone. That you did say people tend to die when Yone hits certain item breakpoints.
That's it. Yeah.
Good prediction, Sam.
Ah.
We'll
Can I take your job yet?
Well, I was thinking you could either do that or you could go become like the Pythia at the Oracle at Delphi.
Ooh. At least I don't want to be like Cassandra, though. Like, I don't want to be like that Trojan version where no one believes anything you say.
Yeah, but Sam, you realize this is something which happens across all sorts of literature and cultures across time. It's why, like, effectively... So this is going to sound really strange. In many ways, in medieval society, their version of the Oracle was the Jester.
Yes.
The Jester was the person in the court who would actually tell the truth, and often in stories was kind of prophetic, but they were cursed that no one would believe them because they are but a Jester.
Because they're the fool. Exactly.
They are the fool.
It's, yeah, it's because they're one of the few... The reason, actually, historically, is because they were one of the few people who were allowed to insult the king.
Yes, they could mouth off to anyone they wanted. And while... Yeah, because in the name of comedy and entertainment... Sounds like a pretty cushy job if you ask me, Sam.
Until the king gets too annoyed and gets killed anyway.
Yeah.
But that's the power you play with.
I personally, my favorite Jester was Boyd.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
What a great King's Whip.
Absolutely nothing else going on with that bloke.
No, very normal. Not to be found across multiple parallel realities.
Yeah, for those of you who are Stormlight Archive fans, just go go read some of the other books of Sanderson. That guy turns up.
Nice monkey interrupts that W. The Tempered Fatal 2 actually here. We may have to wait here as someone's getting invested, but I don't think it's with Stormlight. Oh my days, that's just an equalizer. Top Esports are done with this game, and they have decided that the way to end it is with absolutely unrelenting violence.
Life before death, WE. Well, they've lived the life. It's time for the death, Sam. Top Esports find their way onto the squishy composition. Nio will die on the fountain. I think this will still be the death push, though.
Likely will be. WE have got Cube in a dream here. He gets exhausted as Cream again makes sure that this Varus does not have a free space to auto and try and tank up and do the damage required. A little bit of a heroic charge forward, but it is a charge of the Light Brigade into the massed guns of Top Esports. It might be life before death. It's also journey before destination. And this first step is a game 1 to Top Esports. 2 more to go.
Journey was towards that Nexus, and they found themselves at that precise destination. 1-0 up. Good composition from them, punishing the squishiness of Team WE. Sam, I'm going to very quickly leave because I've got to go take a break very quickly.
Go for it.
And we shall... I don't know. You're set, Sam.
I'll sort it.
You know what you can do now,
Foxy,
Sam.
was that a Horizon Focus Rumble? I just didn't see.
No, we have seen that occasionally. It's just like a bit of a stat stick because if you hit someone with the ultimate, it gives you the 10% damage up because there's the slow on
the process.
So it's very easy to activate the Horizon Focus bit. It's very good against certain compositions if you don't quite have enough gold for a Shadow Flame. Anyway, that's your analysis of that.
You go take that break, Alex. I shall look after chat. Hello, chat. Chat. We have a conversation. And this is going to be a hard one because what's going to happen is I'm going to hit a button and ads are going to roll. And I know how disappointing that is for all of you. If you're a non-sub, for the subs, it means nothing to you. You know why? Because subs don't get ads. And if you don't want ads, subscribe, guys. I know a lot of you got that Twitch Prime out there. Just lurking around, sitting there, not used. You're wasting your money. Spend it here. That free subscription that you paid for via being on Amazon Prime. This is your option. Now is the time. Ads are rolling. Just like Alex telling us Sam will come back from getting milk. I did come back from getting milk. I am a man of my words. I'm the salesman, it's true. It's my job. Rumble is just busted. Just the way it is, guys. I know a lot of people are like, why am I seeing Rumble on my screen again? Because Rumble's very good. It's not going anywhere anytime soon. Something else you can do, by the way. Actually, I do need to change the music over. That's what I need to do. Just remember to do that. I need that there. Where's the mouse? Ah, there it is. Ah. There we go. No, that'll do. Turn this off so you can see all those beautiful numbers. Jack, you got to do damage in the end of it all. Bit of a fight over the Herald one we saw here, which where Top Esports got a lot of their early leads. I'm assuming this, actually, because I wasn't here to see this. So this is me making an assumption. Was I correct? Largely, Cube did some crazy things, but so did 369. Who, again, we've found basically, if 369 finds the seam in a game to be a carry, he's been one of our most consistent carries in terms of getting a lead and rolling with it. Him and Bin, probably, I think. I think Flondra's the most all-round. And again, we've seen significantly lower lows from 369 and to a lesser extent, Bin. Where are the Karthus buffs? I mean, I wouldn't be complaining. I do miss my AP junglers. How'd the magic deck work out? Very well, actually. You know, tell you what, in the break, I'll go through it. We'll show you some cool tech. We're going to nerd out about magic cards briefly in the background. Hell yeah. Cassandra was punished with that, wasn't she? Yes, and I can't quite remember why she was punished. I can't remember whether she insulted the gods, was too arrogant in her kind of skills, and therefore was kind of punished with lack of credibility. Sorry, Darren, I missed that from midcast, but yes, no, we did the Cassandra joke from earlier. Right, I'm gonna put this back on so we don't get in trouble from other stuff. I'm gonna get that magic deck. Oh, I need to keep sleeving some cards anyway, so I might just do that. Big Dokes needs a nerf too. He had a great series last night. If anyone didn't watch the Leon Team Liquid Alienware, not Team Liquid Academy, TLA being Team Liquid Academy for decade or whatever, has thrown a lot of people's perceptions out. Poor old Kangas. Shout out to the man. Spent a long time casting that team. There you go. It'll be Cream who gets MVP. I don't think that's really a surprise. He was excellent on that Yone. Really was. Yeah, the fact that Dokes blocks in Aurelia, Varus, Vayne, and carries on all of them and loses on the Cassante, it's a... Look, I think there was a time when a lot of NA top laners, particularly local NA talent, was maligned for being unable to pilot and carry on those much more skill-intensive, squishier champions. NA Jace was a meme for years. Not that it wasn't in EU either after a while. But, you know, locking in things like Vayne, locking in things like Aurelia, locking in things like, having a moment here, the Varus, and making it look very clean is a great sign, genuinely. And, you know, it's not necessarily that it'll work absolutely if you go further in the tournament, but it's a good sign that they have got that kind of additional skill set to really murder some people. I mean, obviously, you want to be able to play tanks too. Like, it's great to be able to play things like the Cassante and the Ornns and the Scions and all the rest of it, your Renekton's and all of that. But the more options you have, particularly when you can just warp a draft at game 3 or whatever, and go, cool, Aurelia. And the enemy team goes, oh shit, that could be really, really powerful. Oh. I return. There we go. Are we talking about Big Dokes? We were talking about Big Dokes, who I thought had a great series last night. I'm happy for Saint. He looks really good in the 2 matches I saw him in. He is good when he has a little bit of guidance and structure from other members of the team, I think. We've seen when he looks lost, he ends up giving up more advantages than he should. And again, that's young player things, right? So I don't think that will be an issue for forever, or I hope not. And again, you've got some very experienced, very talented members behind that to ensure that that changes over the course of his career. But yeah, right. Let's chat this. I need to make some potential cuts to this deck anyway, because I've got some cool cards I want to put in. So what do I want to put in here? So basically, my deck is Fire Lord Azula is the deck I've been building, which is a great deck. Very fun. Very fun. Done some... I've played it 4 times. 3 times. And it's done crazy things every game. It's I'm 1 and 2 with it. So it's like, you know, appropriate for the bracket. But it's been pretty ridiculous. Yeah, I think, to be fair, I also agreed, Lord Deathwind, like, again, like, Saint had his issues. And I'm not here to say he's not flawed, to say he's, you know, perfect or whatever. But yeah, exactly, I agree. I saw the Akali misplay is not great, and that game that they lost, rough. And again, there are things to resolve, but I don't think it will necessarily be a permanent issue. This is the Grix Azula. Yes, it is. It is... Oh, hang on. Camera freeze. There we go for you. Got scared there for a second. It's on. Let focus. There you go. Basically, what she says is when you attack, you add a couple mana, which is very nice. And also, any spells you cast, you create a copy of. That includes creature spells. That includes spells with flash. That includes instants. If you got a sorcery with flash, that happens as well. So it's not just instants and sorceries. You can do that with creatures, which is pretty ridiculous. Let me flash in double Notion Thief. Let me flash in double Orcish Bowmasters. It's ridiculous. So you can sort of get some very, very dangerous combos that way. Especially if you have ways to, particularly because of the way the avatar set works, there's a lot of ways to give mana in combat. So the firebending mechanic basic says when you attack, you add X amount of mana depending on what the firebending is, and it's red mana. And thank you for the follow, by the way. A throwback. It's all spells. Yes. Yes. Not instants and sorceries, all spells. So I have flashed in some very silly things. Especially if you pick up a few flash enablers. Emergence Zone. He definitely has confidence issues. I'm not at the point where I think TL are done though. Yeah, I agree. I think Team Liquid will be fine yet. They'll come back and review and they'll be okay. They'll be okay. And you know, and Quid, when he's good, he's fantastic. But we sort of see that, you know, and he was a very hot prospect. But there was under the bright lights yesterday. It didn't quite work out. Yeah, so there's like, I built this as Grixis Wizards for the record, Shady Legacy. So what's the great wizard card in here? So yeah, here you go. Fancy Kuja card. Quitters in TL, yes. Yes. So that is... Focus. There we go. That's Kuja, who... Would it focus on the text? Probably not quite. But basically, what he says is, at the beginning of your end step, you create a wizard token. And the wizard tokens say, whenever you cast a non-creature spell, ping everyone for 1. You create a lot of wizard tokens, guys. And so I'm pinging you for 5. And then you flip Kuja once you have X amount of wizards on the board. And the backside of Kuja says, backside. Whenever a wizard you control deals damage to something, any permanent or a player, it deals double that damage. So all of those wizard tokens are now tinging for 2 minimum. And if you've got ways to increase that even further, you can just blast someone with non-creature spells. So add that plus Azula's ability to like multicast spells. Ridiculous. Very, 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 very silly. So I've got a lot of the Final Fantasy wizards that are giving me wizard tokens in here for good reason. But yeah, that's kind of the plan with the deck is some cool combat tricks, some cool combos. But it's basically about what can I do to ping people with wizards and have Azula enable some potential game-ending attacks where I swing out and have 30 wizards on the board and multicast a load of spells. Play by Jose was really nice, where he faked his back on a fading ward. Yes, that was a good play. What if I run away, Alex?
Yes.
Thank you.
Need to run away for some.
Bathroom.
Oh. How embarrassing.
I know.
Tell you what, Sam, the game review is going to be really interesting for Resi, because Monty's fucking hating it
Is
right
he
now.
really hating it?
He doesn't like the writing. He doesn't like the writing.
Of course he wouldn't. It's very much not Monty style of writing.
No, I mean...
It's very melodramatic.
The thing is, his points aren't wrong. It's just what do you expect from a Resi game. What are you expecting from a Resi game in terms of going into it, you know? Because Resi is effectively a... for me, you know, Resi is a... it's kind of pulp horror. Very much kind of like, you know, 90s horror of kind of like big twists and very overly dramatic, kind of like very out there writing decisions. Hey Mecha, good to see you. I was looking, Magic Hawk. Okay, maybe stay hydrated, folks. Thank you for the follow, Throwback. Not sure if Sam called out, I imagine he did. I think we're getting onto stage soon. And with that, let's change the music over. Should be pretty close to that game too. Top Esports, I think, had the better draft in game 1. And they did play it well, eventually. You know, the laning phase was worrying for bot lane. That was the big thing, really. Oh yeah, cool thing as well, which I neglected to mention earlier. If you do sign up to Opera GX, which helps us, by the way, for free, we actually get double value for it from this weekend alone. So if you support us today, I believe tomorrow as well actually does count. But if you sign up to Opera GX now, we actually get double value from it, which would be very, very helpful for us. If you're looking for a new gaming browser with a load of functionality, that is one which I think you should check out. It's really, really cool. Why don't we see more Kha'Zix? We saw it from Junja, and we saw it from Ona. Those are the 2 games I remember of it recently. Yeah, those are the 2 ones which I remember recently. Yeah, Ona played it versus D plus Kia, and then we also saw it from, as we said, we saw it from, sorry, I gotta move this around. Ooh, they've not changed the music over yet. There we go. Ooh, we've had the OBS kind of go weird again. All good. Cool. Into our second draft and into our Mass Effect soundtrack for the second game. Croco played it too. Yes, Croco did play it. You're right. You're right, Croco did play it. Was that versus NIP even? I'm trying to remember. No, that would have been versus WE, rather. Yeah, I remember that now. He fell very far behind and then almost came back later into the game. Didn't quite manage to do so. Top Esports will have red. Top Esports have chosen red side, I think, whereas WE have chosen first pick, I believe. Which is why we're getting first pick. No, sorry, I'm wrong. No, so W have chosen counter pick. My bad. W have chosen counter pick. Wait, hang on. How did this work then? Because W had side choice. They had the choice for this game because they're the loser from game 1. I didn't see. Did you guys see who chose first pick or second pick? Down 1 or down 0-2? I did worry. We could see a BFX like, oh my god, this could be a crazy finals of BFX Gen G. Just who would expect that? BFX going to first stand? The cricket gods themselves, the God War champions. Vi first pick for Top Esports. You need to take the Aurora away from that, I suppose, but then you can always go Talia Ari. Monkey goes Viego. Okay, you can go unstoppable out of the Vi ultimate. Problem is you're still very squishy, and if the Vi ever catches you out, the Ari ever catches you out, things go very wrong very quickly. The Scion's not a target you can jump onto very easily too. Trying to get past the Scion as a Viego is a pain in the ass. Especially because as a jungler, you're expected to stand in certain positions in relation to objectives when they're being taken down. Ambessa is fine here for WE. You want something with lane pressure against it. You've already... One of the other big things is, of course, you haven't locked in something like a Trundle, so the Scion's kind of free. The Gnar is locked in, so you do have fairly strong side lanes for WE. Now, I will say that Ari has decent side lane matchup into both of these. It's mainly just one of them will be against the Scion and hopefully getting value for themselves there. Bot lane. WE want a safe AD carry, so Top Esports may be banning away certain AD carries which can survive the Vi. There's no Sivir for the Spell Shield, which can occasionally be used for that. Perhaps they ban out something like a Xayah, even though the Xayah would lose laning phase against a lot of things. It is typically very good versus the Vi. Could also, I suppose, ban out Enchanter supports instead, stuff which tends to keep your rest of your team alive. You could ban away a Lulu if you don't want to play that. That would be okay. Ban away Ezreal. Now, think about Ezreal. Is that Ezreal? I actually don't find that great versus the Vi. We saw that the other day with anyone's Legends versus JDG. They lost the game where they got Vi Galio comboed, and the Ezreal couldn't really do much. It's not. You only have one dash, and she follows you through it. Kai'Sa Ashe banned away from Jachi. Misfortune available, not bad here. There's no tank on the other side of WE, so the Misfortune gets a lot of value. Last ban for Top Esports. I suppose they could ban the Misfortune if they think W would take it away, deny them laning phase pressure. Ban away the Corki. I think Misfortune is the big champion for Top Esports that they want. W don't necessarily want it themselves because they're into a Scion, and Scion's very good against Misfortune because he just doesn't take damage from her. You wish you'd been around back for a Starhunt Royal Club, Samsung White, Samsung Blue. It was a wonderful time. That was a really cool time to be in esports, folks. Yep, W thinking about the Misfortune themselves. They lock in the Rel. I think don't Top Esports snatch up the Misfortune now? Don't they snatch up the Misfortune? WE might still want it. It's lane pressure. Jachi's good at it. I think that Top Esports should go for the Misfortune personally. Take it away from WE and give yourself huge lane pressure. I know that Rel is pretty good versus the MF, but go towards the Lucian Nami. Lucian Nami, pretty strong, I suppose. You can jump forwards, use that culling very effectively. Lucian Braum, okay, a little bit different, a bit more tank. Saying, okay, well, pretty hard for you to one-shot the Braum for that reset. Now, if you're trying to get that Viego reset, it's not going to be easily done through Scion and that Braum. Potential. But now you've unlocked the Xayah angle. If you'd got, and now you can go Xayah into the Vi. I think you should have gone for the Misfortune. You can't really lane very well as Xayah into the Misfortune, so you often don't see that being picked. I think maybe top Esports. Look, it's fine, but I think they could have had a harder draft win. And we'll get ourselves into the riff for game 2. So we have Lucian Braum. The Braum gives you the level 1 potential. So see if top Esports have any level 1 playbook kind of being resorted to here, being relied upon. WE, strong individual champions, but they do need to set this Viego up for success. The Viego is not that strong on his own. He needs to be set up for with that first reset, then things start going very well for him. If you don't get that first kill onto Viego, not really a useful champion. What does Viego do early game now? Farms, waits for opportunities. Really, he's waiting to see if anyone makes a mistake. Viego will be a teamfight win condition later, not necessarily there to do anything early. I agree. I can't hear many GIOs in the background there. Perhaps the crowd mics are just low. I think I heard 1 or 2 in the background. Cream on the Ahri, a champion which he's played a fair amount over the last few years. I wouldn't say it's a specialist champion of his. I haven't been wonderfully impressed by it. It's a fine matchup into the Aurora, but Karis on the Aurora does have chances to really pull ahead in the lane. On the whole, I expect it to kind of be... If the Ahri player is good, it kind of goes even. If not, the Aurora starts to kind of eke out slight health advantages, and then the Ahri can struggle to deal with that. Typically, the Aurora trades a bit better through the wave compared to the Ahri. And of course has the dash to get out of certain skill shots as well with that W. Very easy to react to stuff like the charm and the Q. Ooh, skill shots missing there from Jachi and Fangirei. We're looking for a strong level 1. Can't quite get that, really. About is our rookie of the split, for those that missed it. I personally don't agree with that. I think it should have been Fangirei, actually. I think Fangirei was very, very good for top Esports. And playing in Group Ascend, you know, had a great series where he was very important to their win over JDG, over BLG. His Poppy is perhaps the best in the league. Guy's fantastic at that champion. Jungle's pathing in opposite directions, you'll notice. Vi going from bot to top, which is kind of interesting. Would have thought that you want to leverage off of the Lucian Braum. I suppose there is always value in a jungler, though, making sure that they're unseen and they're doing something unexpected. Sometimes efficiency can be overrated when the unexpectedness gives you more playmaking opportunities. Depends on the meta, depends how important it is that you're very much on farm potential. Ooh, he's got the Viego skin! He's got the cool Viego skin. So for those of you who are not aware of this one, when he kills a champion and takes the soul, he comes out with a different sword depending on the class of champion, which they are, which I think is pretty cool. Now choosing not to use the Phaelites there, interestingly. Spots Monkey coming over. On the bot side, heal used by both bot lanes. Reminder that heal does activate Lucian's Vigilance passive, gives some more damage there. Cream can potentially look for a kill here, might have to flash away. Okay, Karis positioning well there, and now Monkey is going to jump onto Cream, and he gets the flash predict onto him. No, Cream, you knew that he was there. That's a big mistake from Cream. You knew that he was in the top side jungle, now just backed off from him, and Cream goes down, getting flash predicted by Monkey's own flash, who walks away with the first blood on the Viego. Mistake from Cream on the Ari, as we're saying. He's played it a lot. I wouldn't say it's comfort for him, but I wouldn't say it's his most effective champion. Right there, he was wishing he dealt with that gank more effectively himself.
Did you predict I would return at this point?
No.
Oh.
Do you want me to?
Yeah.
I think Sam would return like 10 seconds ago.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yep.
A reactive prediction.
Yeah, exactly.
God. That's what I'm going to start calling them.
Reactive predictions.
Yeah.
Well, with that, God. I'm just recalling something which just happened. No, it's very different. Yeah, you don't know.
It's a reactive prediction. What?
I was taught these skills by at the Oracle of Delphi.
Yes. See, I foretold it.
Yeah.
I reactively foretold.
Yes.
What?
Virgil on a Monty Python sketch, Sam. Hang on,
Monkey.
level down.
Ooh.
Monkey, no flash.
Oh boy, was not expecting the brawl there. He's a dead man. That is a jungler's worst nightmare.
It is. Monkey uses the flash to get a brilliant first kill in mid lane and then dies because he doesn't have the flash and the Braum is out onto the map. And W just don't have the vision to track it. So a kill to Nio, it's going to be a camp away. They can return bot lane too, actually, which could be a huge issue. Nope, he's not going for that play though. Can we move that, please?
Yeah, we
Is
can.
that?
Yeah,
I noticed
we
that I was
can.
reaching for the mic before. I might start knocking your cards aside and stuff.
Yeah, it's because I was showing Shady my cards.
That's wonderful, Sam.
Great time. I was having a
I'd
show
like
and
to-
tell, Alex.
That's great. Oh, did you? This is the third time that you brought your magic deck to show and tell.
Yeah, which I think it's the second time. I didn't even show it at the time. This is the first show.
How is Cube down in gold? That's a great question, given the fact that he is a Gnar into a Scion and is currently, well, he's down TS. That's nicht sehr gut, as we say here. Nio is about to hit. Well, he's not going to hit level 6, but he could potentially look for a flash Q onto the Gnar. That could be a big. It could be a big issue actually. Wait for him to come out of here. This is going to be a flash blind, presumably.
He will hop and will mean nothing. Niall gets another much better stuff from him now.
Oh, Cube. He had a good Varus game, Sam. He did. I won't be able to remember that. However, this is more what we expect from Cube as a player who has often been the most criticized member of WE over this year, over last year. Cube is a player who I've constantly said should not be on carry matchups, not because he technically doesn't play them, but because he plays them and just falls behind. So I suppose that is about as much the same as saying he doesn't play them. I don't want to see this guy on volatile matchups. That was meant to be the case for like last game, and you got the Varus Rumble, perhaps that could be an issue, or when he's played stuff like the Gwen before. Now he's playing a Gnar, which is meant to be stable, easy laning phase. You're just going to sit there and exist. You eke out a CS lead, and he's still behind in that. So Cube is continuing to be an issue for WE.
He is. He is.
Anything more to add?
No, I was trying to think about it and then just didn't really have.
No, nothing in the tank. No.
I'm just sitting. Tell spell. I saw teleport on Braum. Went, that's going to be spellbook, and it was, and that was.
Sometimes we're not just casting; we're just watching. We're basically watching League on the TV while we're sat on the sofa, folks. You know,
Just pass the remote. Come on, change the channel.
give me a beer from the fridge.
Day drinking while casting LPL sounds like a great time, but probably not.
I have
for
a
the
feeling that many of the previous LPL casters would have subscribed to that. I'm just thinking.
I feel like there would be like a dream drunk cast rotation, Alex. Because I feel like Hysterics Rats would be exceptional.
No, there is no world in which you're not picking Lyric. There is no world in which you're not picking Lyric.
That's very true.
Lyric, buddy, if you're out there, no, you're in fact not. Look, when he's not drunk, he is very entertaining. I'm actually. Wait, does he even drink? Look, even if he doesn't drink, if we somehow did start drinking, like, it would be Lyric as the guy. I'd be like, yo, this guy is gonna bring you the entertainment.
Cube's gonna eat culling there, forced to back away. Does at least have a high proc and get tapped. Bajachi doing a lot of damage there early on. Again, his lane swapped very early here. That's despite being in what should be a fairly good lane, one would imagine. So are they just looking to play around grub spawn?
Suppose so. I'm just looking to. Well, what they're also looking to do is make sure that Cube gets nothing done. Part of the time, it'll just be the. Wave state as well. If you're resetting at the right point, you just go and get a stacked wave. You'll get a plate re-hit, and you lose like a minute of time in your lane. But that's kind of it. You notice that Rel's gone up towards the top side. Of course, the Zaya's still bot side. So WE are getting their lane quests ticked up more in terms of the actual time spent in lane. Wouldn't surprise me to see a quick recall coming out from Jacchi and Fengyue to make sure they can reset this, reset the lanes again.
Yeah, 369 eats a fair amount of damage there from about Xayah. But that will be the end of that. Cream in mid lane has to be a bit afraid.
Ooh.
Doesn't land the W because the charm is spot on.
Well, the W is also off target as well. It doesn't get to stop the actual particle coming out. This time, Cream sidesteps. 3 grabs to the side of top Esports, fight on the top river.
Cube with Mega. Fengyue trying to crash down and get away with that Yao Yao Rel W, but all the while comes the cease and desist. Braum is down to Cube, and they will try and turn that one around and do so. Yao Yao, though, is going to get the mount up, and a bit of a shattering strike. What about the turnaround as Nio needs to think about backing away here? Gets interrupted, out comes that Heartbreaker. Nio falls as well.
Okay, first reset coming through from the Viego. Hang on, folks, we'll have to watch what... So, with this Viego skin, when you kill a champion, you come out with a different type of sword. You'll see there he's got a different sword now because he killed a champion with a different class.
That is fancy.
So, Viego... I'm not just shelling for the Viego skin, but it is a really cool skin, despite the fact that it costs, like, a lot of money. I just want to point that out. Yeah. So, this is the fight on the top side where Cube gets to play on the Mega Gnar. I'm saying, well, you know, Cube just wanted to be on a matchup that exists, falling behind on the Gnar. He gets a good fight here. It's a good Mega Gnar, does manage to get that first kill in, and buys time for things to go wrong there.
One passive. I think that's just a dead Xayah. Barrier is good. Can they do some more work? No, they cannot. And Fengyue will claim that kill onto About. And the Xayah is down.
And he loses ult and both summoners too. Not great from About. Top Esports punishing with the Sion, and if Sion starts getting value like this, that's a huge issue, Sam. Sion's good. Actually, wait, without blah blah, he's going Frozen Heart first item because he's going into multiple attack speed champions. So
that makes sense to me.
Xayah, Viego, and the Gnar are all attack speed based champions, really. 369, very cheap first item based off of the fact that he's managed to get a very early laning lead. Hasn't had to go for kind of like odd job items and combine them into something later. Here's what happened down here. I guess Braum was looking for vision, noticed that Xayah had overstepped. There was a Sion ult which lands onto him, and doesn't end up getting like a Xayah ult or a flash away from the Braum passive, forced him into death.
Unfortunate stuff there from About, who's down quite a lot of CS now. Will likely get towards the lane quest earlier because Jacchi left lane for a little while, despite obviously the now fairly significant CS advantage. The issue I'm still running into is that About, down those summoners, as you noted, down quite a lot of CS. It's going to hit this mid game a little more anemic than I would like for the Xayah. You know, our rookie of the split here. Not had the greatest start to the split, came back a little later, which I think he where he earned the votes. I think I personally would have probably gone for someone like Fengyue or even Rayo, who had a great few games, but he didn't play enough of the split, I think is probably the argument against him.
And also he was in Group Nirvana. Yeah. And now that's why I'm like, actually Fengyue was my choice, because that guy was really, really strong in Group Ascend on stuff like the Poppy started week, finished really strong. Potential fight here after the Dragon's gone down. Yaya caught out, looking for the reset stone onto Viego.
Oh boy.
Can't really find a way in for the Viego though. Monkey has to retreat and watch his bot lane die.
About falls as well. Nio just gets to press R, and again, Nio with early skirmish leads feels like a much different play. He has been inconsistent. We've seen the flaws, but it is worth highlighting and celebrating. This guy is dangerous when he gets ahead.
You know, folks, I like to consider ourselves, or at least myself, there a little bit of the Viego of casting. We get to steal each other's play-by-play segments. Cream uses that charm, gets in with the ults.
Tries to get that level, forces the flash out of Karis, and they can't get a hold of Cream.
Very nearly gets that backswing onto that Q. Karis escapes with the flash, but Cream this time survives the 1v2 in the mid lane. Cream picks up that blue buff. This is the issue that we had with the Viego, which is like, it's just much harder to consistently impact those places. Like, if that was a Pantheon or a Shinzao, that's probably a dead Ahri, actually. We'll see what happens now. There is a flash still available for Cream.
They need to burn it. Over comes the Vi, gets the Vault Breaker. The turnaround damage is nutty, and no Heartbreaker will be allowed.
Repeat same points, do the same execution of it. If that was a Shinzao or a Pantheon, probably dies. Gets hit with the charm, dies immediately after. It's the Kraken Slayer first. You are not tanky with your first item. Even on most Viego builds, you're not tanky with that first item. Even whack when it was like Sundered Sky first, it can be a little bit harder for you to make it out of those plays. Monkey has been really trying to get down onto this Ahri. Just hasn't consistently able to do that. Now Nio is 5-1.
This Vi is going to be such a problem. We'll see what the reset will look like. It is for a full Sundered Sky, got the Ruby Crystal, got those early free-ass boots, feeling very pleased with things. In fact, those boots have now turned into the Steel Caps and the Phage, which looks a little bit more like it. I'm thinking that feels very even to Monkey, and I felt a bit foolish for saying what a cool inventory. Now I feel a little less foolish. There's that 1,200 gold.
I don't have anything more to add there, Sam.
I do think that was very clever, don't you?
With the more Gandalf lines.
I have no memory of this place.
Bot lane. Do you never roam there?
No, Sam. I no.
Speak cowards
Yeah,
and enter.
it's like, you know, it's like just like Bard, just turns up there for like one level, hits level 2, Ute's out of there and never returns. He's really gone for milk.
There's a passive stack there, gonna force the barrier. Jadchi really threatening about, who's having a really tough time now. Into the mid lane we go. Naya with the flash Q. That's a little awkward, unfortunately, for him. And therefore, Karis will get away.
Hey, really well played there from Karis, but now shorts the Q, gets ulted, but when he's ulting, so doesn't get a CC combo at all. Swinging a miss in the mid jungle.
Monkey's not going to be allowed towards the wave. They're glacial fissuring him, and they have actually blown one up. That's unfortunate. They didn't get the Brawn passive down instead. Now, actually, with the Brawn body available, that's Jadchi done as well. What the hell happened?
A really bad dive, Sam, and suddenly Monkey walks away with the reset and gets himself a little bit more value. Top Esports fail in the mid lane, do something in the bot lane, not exactly sure. Thank you for your subscription as well. That Kip makes a difference to us, all of you out there in chat. We appreciate doing all of this for you as a community. We wouldn't do this without you, and we wouldn't be able to do this without your support. And it makes a lot of difference as well. And you know what? I don't think WE wouldn't have been able to do that without their support there, Sam. It's the Magnet Storm, which made all the difference. Now I might return towards this mid lane. Chance of Cream looking for a Charm Flash.
Well, look for it. Thought about it.
Actually, we should have sent it. Now, the thing is, if Aurora loads up into the E animation, especially because Karis doesn't have Flash, you should be able to hit that for free. I'm not exactly sure. I need to see the next time that the bottom left-hand screen goes over towards Ari. Now, this is one of the reasons why I really like maxing, kind of like tandem maxing W and E between the two of them instead of just like straight maxing W, because you get more CC duration in E, and it means that you can kind of go for these more kind of combining plays where you lead off with the charm, because the CC duration goes from like 1.5 up to 2, or maybe slightly less than that. But it's some, you know, something around that, you know, and you can get like an extra quarter of a second by tandem maxing into mid game, which can actually be really important for players like that, where, you know, Karis doesn't have the flash and would have potentially been comboed down to by now.
Not allowed to escape, but this time around he is. 369 yells cowards, won't quite land the cubes, about to hit Mega. Out comes Top Esports though with a concerted roam mid jungle here to potentially jump onto the Meganar, but that is a Meganar. Turret has now fallen, will get the shunt into the wall, but there's a charm after, no ability to hop over the wall. The CC chain is ridiculous. Q not given any real option to escape here and will be falling, donated to Cream.
Charm hits, he goes a bit short on the jump, which I think was cancelled out by a Vi Q. I think it got cancelled midway part through that. Top Esports 2,000 gold ahead, W looking to cross map. And Top Esports are pulling ahead again. WE, a team which, you know, from last year when they had, you know, Monkey and Vampires. Oh god, don't quite get that Brawn passive down. Karis ulting to the side. You know, WE last year was kind of Monkey and Vampire, kind of comboing up for the rest of the team with Taeyeon's kind of like hyper snowball, very aggressive play. They've not really found that aggressive playmaking instinct to the same level, particularly with Karis being quite mercurial in form. When Karis is on form, sometimes we see those same shades. Less so now. 369, he doesn't care. The Viego doesn't do damage to him until he builds something like a Lord Dominate's Regards, which I don't think he's going to go particularly quickly in this game. Monkey's going towards a tunnel, right? Him second.
You know why I know you're an Ari player?
Yeah.
You nearly said Malignance there, didn't you?
Wait for who?
For Viego.
Did I?
I thought you did. Maybe I misread that.
I wasn't intending to.
In that case, I apologise. Sibling synergy has failed me.
Damn. So sad for you, Sam.
I know.
Yeah. I wish I had more to come back with that.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
I don't, Sam. I don't.
We've got, I was going to say something about dragons, but they've already gone down, actually. It's already 2 of those stacked for Top Esports to pick down that.
Sometimes when you have nothing to say, you just scan the map and like, damn, what should I talk about now? Surely there's an objective.
Moving on swiftly.
Oh no, I did say I'd stop swearing a bit. There were some people getting a little bit sad that I was swearing on stream. In fairness, no, I get it. If people don't have headphones on and listening in a family place, I do get it. We'll save it for the very special moments. Yes. Look, I don't think it's worth jumping onto the Sion here. He doesn't have ult short, but he has flash. He has item and a half. I don't think this is the guy you really want to be hitting here.
Yeah, he will flash just in case. Again, there probably is a fair amount of damage at an extended point, but you do need to be able to cycle through a few abilities and just wanted to deal with a 1v3.
No objectives up for a little while, as we were just noting. This Lucian is very scary for WE. However, if they do get a clean combo onto him, you can use that very powerful Lucian as a reset body. So that's going to be WE's win condition. Somehow, Rel combo, Aurora combo onto the Lucian and hope you get the kill. One of the big things about the Aurora in this game is that the Braum can't stop a lot of your damage. Your E will go through everyone and your ult will too. The Braum shield doesn't block the Aurora ultimate as it goes through. So you do have a lot of damage that can come through the teamfight onto that Lucian, which is what WE need to do.
Then goes Yao with the Magnet Storm and the crash down between worlds. Goes Karis looking to blow some people up, but it is unfortunately Yao, who once again goes ow about, has to immediately go up to this guy with the Feather Storm, will not be able to get much more involved in this fight. Jachi survives Cube's attempt on his life as he hits him with the double shot. Vigilance passive coming out strong, and now Cream with the rocket belt looking for another angle, can't quite land the charm, and the Orb of Deception just wide.
Yeah, we appreciate the attempt. For some reason, 369 and I are very, very deep behind the turret.
Monkey might be able to do quite a lot of work here. He's got a Heartbreaker angle, that's the body stolen. Remember, 369 with no flash, Karis coming on over. I think you're going to lose the Scion here as well. Another ult, gets the shield, they steal the body. Monkey on a hopping spree, can look to flash forward, another Heartbreaker. Monkey, the Viego specialist with the Braum, lands the passive. Can he get enraged for another option? No, he cannot, as a charm lands on top of him. And Cream doesn't get the Foxfires because Karis takes them from the auto-targeting.
It's so close, Top Esports. I don't really know what 369 and Nio were doing. None of the damage was nearby, and they give a reset chain over to Monkey. Top Esports cannot afford to be that ill-disciplined around the Viego, who is starting to show some really scary moments. The Kraken Slayer Sundered Sky, pretty strong 2-item combo, not the burstiest, but definitely has a decent amount of DPS. It's a bit more tanky than it was before. Combo does come down. You notice that the Locket Shield saves a lot of the burst damage from Karis and killing them. The fight is really one-sided to Top Esports at this point. Now Cube jumps in as a mini-Gnar, just completely kills himself. Poor play from him. And then Scion goes for this ultimate, and he just overstays. At this point, just let him go. Just Nio should not hop over the wall. Worst things to worst, 369 gets DPS down, but he does have the items to survive a couple of people auto-attack him. He is a Scion after all. Bad overinvestment there by Nio to try and keep 369 a bit more healthy.
Big amount of gold went the way of Monkey there, make no mistakes about it, getting from UA as well. He is so unlucky not to get jacked, especially after he tags this Q here. I'm trying to think what rooted him. I think it was the Braum passive still on him before he took the body.
And it was the stun, not the root there as well. And then there was no vision onto Monkey, so the W wasn't going to target onto him anyway. A shame there as Cream narrowly missed out on 2 different kills. By the way, he would have killed both of those targets if he didn't have a Proto Belt second, because it turns out the Proto Belt second is not that high damage. And also, so we really need to see him pay off that build on the R8. He tried to go for a fancy combo, ult Proto Belt, missed everything onto Karis under the top lane just a couple of minutes ago. Cream will have to pick up some slack on the playmaking of that R8. It's already fairly low damage composition with a Scion and a Braum. So he needs to start picking up some damage at some point.
Teleport coming behind, and this might get a bit interesting again. Are we looking to jump onto someone like Monkey or Cube? No, can't quite find it. Would have been nice to get that before the Dragon's point. It's sole point for Top Esports on the board.
Yeah, anyone dies 40 seconds before a Dragon, that's when it really matters. That's when it really matters there. WE not quite able to get vision control around the objective, but they don't die in the setup for you. The Dragon started, no contest from WE. That will be Cloud Soul point for Top Esports, a threat of them going towards Cloud Soul later. Baron, much like game 1 though, started up by WE, and Top Esports might be slow to the roam here.
It's a very aggressive Viego build. He will cycle through this quite quickly. Top Esports coming, but remember, no teleport on Cream. He's not going to be here in time. Vi is coming, but I think he's going to be a bit late. Karis gets on top of 369. They're going to keep DPS in this down. Actually, they've turned over, and 369 ults away. Now, actually, I think WE have made this turn look a little bit foolish. They have just leashed it, I think. That's really unfortunate. Respetting now, they won't stay aggroed on the Baron.
I actually wonder whether Top Esports should have taken that opportunity to releash the Baron there. It was under half HP, and the Viego just used that ultimate. I think they could have gone for that. Now they're caught in the topside jungle. Top Esports, do they look for an actual fight? They would be going to all 5, so they choose not to. In another world, Top Esports start that Baron.
Fengyue is still here, gets the passive down onto Yao. They've lost a couple members from the reset, so they're not around, but again, won't look for too much more. This Scuttle Crab will die. That'll give some vision control over to Top Esports. Those late game Scuttle Crabs are so brutal for teams who put the vision down and they got to re-ingress into a team like Top Esports.
Top Esports, yes, they're trying to. They do, of course, in the series of this play, end up getting Dragon. Vision control around Baron would be a big win from 2. Yao Yao's caught.
He's dead. There's no way out there. He's got to cleanse the dream. Rocket belt into the charm. Miss angle. Slightly unfortunate there from Cream. I appreciate the attempt, but can't quite find the correct placement of the curse.
Okay, Cream has a Magi's. That helps, but I'm not impressed by the Protobelt combos, man. Look, for those of you that don't know, Protobelt Ari was like that was my favorite build of all time. It's very nostalgic for me, but it takes a little while to get used to kind of like the combos. Cream's not been that accurate on the charm, really. Like I was saying, Cream's played a lot of the champion. I wouldn't say it's his best one, but it's definitely one which he's shown a lot of comfort for. And right here, trying to snowball through this mid-game and get to a game-ending advantage. WE now down 3,000 gold. Dragons down against them. At least the Baron hasn't fallen just yet.
Indeed. 369 will pick up that cannon. Will be the end of that pit. And these wards in the river will fall shortly. Hey, Alex.
Yes?
Can we move a little to the left, please?
I knew you were going to complain about this. You could have just said this at any point.
Well, yes, I was trying to find a moment where we weren't in the middle of a team fight. Genuinely. It's been a busy few minutes. Thank you. I appreciate you.
It's all good, Sam. Could have happened at any point. Cream stopped on the recall. His ult's been blown.
Indeed it is. Still got a couple charges. Should get out safely.
That's not a good recall from him, though. You know, you have the Magi stacks. You really don't want to be losing them for free. His teleport's about to come back up, but yeah, About does end up getting blasted by the culling of Jachi. So it's kind of chunk for chunk, ult for ult. The Xayah ult is on a longer cooldown, though, because you're not building anything which gives you crazy amounts of ult cooldown reduction, like the Malignance on the Ahri.
Could you imagine Malignance on Xayah?
Sure, in Ultimate Bravery. Not here. Maybe if you had, like... Well, I mean, no, because you got, like, Hexblade or Fiend Hunter Bolt. So actually, Sam, no. But
just do Fiend Hunter
Bolt. In a world where it was just Malignance and you had got, like, Adapt or whatever, which turns all of your AP into AD from Arena/Mayhem, then maybe.
Imagine if Lucian still had Gale Force there, by the way. Relentless Pursuit.
I have to say, look, Gale Force was one of those items which is so fun to play, but so toxic to play against. Because it just meant that everyone had like an extra dash, and it was a really bad time to play Ahri, because it meant that whenever you went for a charm, they just had a Gale Force out the way as well as a flash. All coming through from the side, looking for a fight in the top side jungle.
It does tag with the Winter Spike. That means Monkey gets hit with the charm afterwards, and he's a dead man. Doesn't get chance to reset this time around over the wall. Jachi! Playing pretty aggressively. Does actually survive for a while. Karis brings him down finally, but that was a very bold play. He was like, aha, I want to keep this fight rolling.
Jachi Love! Turns out Top Esports haven't changed their AD carry. He's been here all along. Jackie Love.
About? And Karis is still alive, by the way.
Karis is alive. He hops behind them. I think he's dead anyway. He might look for a one-shot onto Cream. Doesn't have his ultimate. His W was used just before. This might be coming off the cooldown now. Karis will be caught. The red buff will show him. It's really funny, but it's not going to save his life. Top Esports win the fight in the top side jungle, despite the Jackie Love very much cosplay from Jachi.
That was bold.
No, Sam, it wasn't. That was stupid. It was dumb. It got him killed as a Fed AD carry, Sam. That was a prime Jackie Love moment from Jachi, the man who's holding the position for him as Jackie Love's on a break.
That was something. I'm hoping we get a replay, because here we go.
So, it's an overstay from WE in the topside jungle. I think Monkey had to, I don't know, maybe he had to ult back first, but he wants to save that for damage. Ends up getting caught out, and as soon as the Veer goes down, the reset when conditions down, Jachi hits a blast cone and very nearly just completely throws his life away. Does end up trading at least, I suppose, 1-for-1. Now we get a setup for the Dragon, which would be sold for Top Esports.
No flash for About, does have the ult. Karis is still dead. Finally respawns, does have teleport. Maybe has to join. This would be Cloud Soul point. And again, it's a comp where the Cloud Soul could be quite dangerous on people like Lucian, Ahri, and Vi. Very aware on how dangerous that can be to just run at people with those relentless mobility. Champions, Karis looks for it, he can't find it, and Yao Yao is eviscerated. Between worlds goes Karis, but Monkey is down to 369. The Dragon is falling cube, flashing on top of Jachi, can't quite get it as there's another relentless pursuit, and he dances his way through the back end of it, throws up the Top Esports out, and will claim Soul for his team.
Yeah, last time was Jachi Love, derogatory. This time it's like Jachi Love, Hall of Fame, gets a great play with the limit of his HP bar, survives the fight, and it's a 5-for-none, plus the Soul. Top Esports will be going up 2-0 in this series, folks. This will be the game ender, really.
WE went 5 games against Top Esports in the Knights rival stage, effectively the play-ins to playoffs, so we thought perhaps it would be close here. But then Top Esports looked really good versus JDG in some aspects, comparative to what we've seen from the rest of their gameplay from the Ascent. We thought, okay, Top Esports, they got some wheels, they got some horsepower, might actually be able to do some damage here. And then you saw WE. WE lost their first round matchup in record time, pretty much the second fastest LPL series of all time. Cream escapes the combo from Karis, Crota belted into the play, did get blocked out on the charm by Yao Yao. At least this time he uses his mobility well, and Karis doesn't get value with that first combo of the fight. And by the time he gets the second one, well, I mean, he's dead at that point. The fight is very much over.
And about eats 80% of his health bar before he ults, so he doesn't really get that much chance to auto there. Has a tough time of it. It's not been a particularly inspiring Xayah game, it must be said. Now Top Esports, despite a couple fumbles here or there, now find themselves up near enough 9,000 gold, looking very confident in this game.
And there's a 25 stack Medjai's on Cream, so the damage he was lacking from the Proto Belt second has definitely been picked up now. It has the pen boots upgraded by the mid lane quest. He's getting a death cap. Once you get the death cap in with a 25 stack Medjai's, it's just under, with the current AP ratios and the increase of death cap, just under 200 AP from a single item, which means that Qs like that will just kill.
They are just down. That is a nice little pick up there, and Karis needs to run away. Fungyue goes looking for a Winter Spite, won't quite find it, but the base is well and truly broken. Cube is again being square-rooted by Top Esports.
Feels so bad for WE. Monkey had a good early game on the Viego, but the team comp fell apart. A jump in from Karis won't save the game, might not even save his life.
Oh, yeah, no, he gets blasted. Jachi will then start to pounce a little bit further forward with a few more of those Vigilance passive. Everyone deserves a second shot, and Top Esports will be deserving of a second game.
Everyone dies sometimes. Some just need a little help. Top Esports go 2-0 up in the series. A fantastic game from Nio on the Vi. Really carries Top Esports to that victory. It's a holistic win for Top Esports. But on the whole, Top Esports just outplaying against the Viego composition. WE in struggle streaks, Sam. They're not comboing together well for this Viego reset. It really made Monkey look a lot more mortal than he should have been with that early game.
Yeah, and part of it, I think, is some laners making some dubious decisions. Part of it is just standard of play. But again, we saw some moments from Top Esports where they overplayed their hands. See the dive onto Monkey and about by the base gates. See the...
Gotta change the camera lens over.
Yeah, the play from Jachi Blast comes in. There were definitely some disrespectful moments from Top Esports, which nearly cost them. But again, it wasn't enough to see WE into ever really a winning position in this game. And for all we've seen moments from WE this series, I wouldn't say they haven't found some individual bright sparks. It has largely felt that Top Esports have been by far the more dominant option here.
I not misclicked, but I mishit the button. All good. Okay, right, camera online. Top Esports clearly the better team here today, and I think that their drafts have been much better too. Again, that was something that we criticized versus JDG, where it felt like, particularly the Game 2 and Game 4 draft in that series were pretty much unplayable.
Yeah.
And the Game 5, it felt like it didn't give Nio the best chance to play things as well. I think Nio has really gone above and beyond my expectations. He's a guy who won NIP last year, didn't impress, frankly. For me, I thought that he was a player who I thought on Top Esports, he would be a placeholder. I don't think that they should keep him. I think we're now at the point where, look, you can't replace Kanavi, but I don't think they're desperate to replace Nio. I don't think they're even desperate to replace Fungyue. I think that the bot lane laning phase has been a bit
mercurial to say, yeah.
It has been, and I can understand that Jachi, while he has very high highs, at this point, Jackie coming back would be a big change to
I agree.
them. If Jackie comes back, gives them a strong bot lane laning phase, the jungle support synergy remains intact, Top Esports could do some damage. They won 5 games versus JDG, and like I was saying, as an overall set of players, I think they were maybe even slightly better than JDG, which now, considering that JDG went on to beat anyone's legend, they will be minimum top 3. That reflects very well for Top Esports.
Yeah.
I don't think this is the team which I thought, oh, this series, this split will be a wash for them. I don't think this series will be, or rather, I don't think this split will be particularly anything of note. They've been better than I expected for them. That gives a bit of a different equation now for them going into split 2.
I agreed. Yeah, there you go. Thank you, Mecha. I was quite pleased with that ending call as well. It was a good one.
I forgot all my Lucian voice lines. Sam, do you want to take a break? Do you want to stretch your knees out and stuff? Would that
I
be
could
good?
probably just go chance to take some painkillers. Actually,
Yeah,
might
all
not
good.
be a bad
Yeah,
idea.
yeah.
If only slightly prophylactively.
All good. Sam's got some knee jip basically.
Yeah, it's my knees. What it needs is physio. But that requires time.
Yes. Time and resources.
And I went to see someone about it, and they said, "Don't worry about it. Take some of my ibuprofen," and then charged
What?
me 90 quid for it.
What?
Thanks, Germans.
Well, not Germans as a
German
whole
health
people.
system is what I
German
wanted to
health
say.
system.
That's the one I wanted to say.
Like, what the hell? Okay.
Sorry. To phrase that better.
Yeah. At least you're allowed to be annoyed somewhat, not against an entire people, Sam.
No, correct.
All good. Right, let's go put on some adverts. If you don't want adverts, think about subscribing. For those of you that don't know, or if you're new in here, you're just dropping by, Sam and I do this for free. This is also our job. Yes, we do this full time. We're very lucky to have the support to be able to do this and put our lives into it. We spent a good part of the last 3 years on the LPL, and the only reason we can continue to do this is because of your support. If you're someone that wants to see more high quality LPL casting, some esports content around the Chinese League of Legends scene, and think about dropping a like, a follow, subscribe. All of these things help us with, one, just monetary income, but then two, also battling the algorithm to bring this product to more people as well. If there are clips which you enjoy from the stream, one of the most important things you can do is actually clip out things from the stream and put them on stuff like Twitter and Reddit. That's one of the best ways to basically market for us as well. If any of these things are things that you feel like you can do without, ruining your daily experience, I hope it's something that you can think about doing as well. We have a couple of sponsors for this month. I say a couple of sponsors. I keep saying couple because it's easy to say. We have Opera GX for the last day of the month as well. Getting double value for it for the last weekend. Hopefully we'll get to keep them into March as well. But if you'd like to join up on Opera GX, it's a browser, a gaming browser with a bunch of functionality, which I personally have been enjoying an awful lot. It's one of those things where once you get attached to a browser, you think that you just don't have to change it. Well, I've tried it out, and I think I've been quite happy with the change personally, and I think that you should try it out as well. Plus, it gives us a little bit extra to work with that whole rent situation. Okay, adverts coming on now, and we'll see you after them. Wait, ground beef, or as I like to call them, land disputes. Player of the game's Nio, he had a really good time with things. What do you mean, ground beef, land disputes? That's funny as heck. It's funny as hell, man. Oh, God. Just a little bit less headroom. That's funny as heck. I enjoyed that a lot. Oh, Josh, you were asking about the DK BFX thing. I actually haven't seen the game. I'm watching these games right now, right? So I haven't got a great read on the BFX DK situation. What's happening with the BFX DK thing? They were 0-2 down last I checked, right? Has game 3 started yet? Is that a thing which has started? Let's have a look. God, it's always so crazy to see like Cadril get 3 times the official streams broadcast like numbers. So like currently right now, LCK's on 21. Cadril's on about 60,000. That is 3x the mainstream. That is absurd, man. Cadril's just exploded, hasn't he? Crazy numbers. Oh, they're like well down in this next game, aren't they? Oh my god, they're gonna get 3-0'd. They're gonna get 3-0'd.
So has anyone been watching the series, like, more? Oh, Top Esports have been choosing red side, not blue side. Right, they've been choosing the different terrain. That's interesting. Let me make this larger. Because sometimes the adverts being, like, full screen, pretty much, they can cause some issues. Okay, teleport from Shiwu. If Showmaker dies, obviously that's... Oh, I mean, Zoe can't defend players like that. Okay, it's not awful from DK on the slap back, but they only killed the Nocturne. Diablo just gets to keep jumping forwards. He has Flash. He can just kill everyone. Oh my god, Diablo might have just full sent it. Does it matter? No, it doesn't. Oh, this kid's just built different. Diablo's just built different. What the hell is this kid? Diablo is so good at League of Legends. I only saw Showmaker's been on the struggle bus. Showmaker is now 1-6 in this game. Showmaker has been punished very, very heavily. Okay, Vikla makes it out alive. Kasante solo kills the support on the retreat. That's just game, isn't it? Isn't that just 3-0? No, okay, so I guess death times are coming up, so. Oh my god, he very... they emote, man. Holy shit. Feels faster from Smash, because I think Smash is having an okay game here. I'm surprised Vikla's doing this well. He's improved Stabilizer's form so much over the years. I actually thought for early part of this year, Vikla was like a top 5 mid in the world. Vikla was very, very good this regular split. And he had a bit of a duff series versus, what, was it DNS or DRX? One of the two. He had a pretty duff series there. But it's been much, much better this split. And this series has been much better again. Vikla's good right now. He's good. Oh my god, that's nearly an execute. Holy crap. Vikla strong. Mages together, strong. It's just a game on this push. Well, Shermick is dead for 30 seconds. You don't have... Well, I mean, not that he brings that much damage or wave clear anyway, because he's Syndra, he's Zoe, which is very, very far behind, but, you know. So that's going to be 2 inhibs down. So it's not end of the... Is it not end of the game here? I thought it'd be end of the game here. Zoe up in 10. Wave's dying. I guess they don't have Baron buff, so it's you do have some wave clear in, right? Stuns miss. Every stun that misses buys DK a bit more time. I think you have to leave now. This goes W, doesn't he? Oh, they get the bubble onto Diablo. Oh my god. Oh no, but they don't get the follow-up. They don't get the follow-up. I mean, Diablo just kills them now, right? Okay, good sleep kind of saves Diablo from running at them, I suppose. So outranged. Just so... Oh god. You don't often say outranged when you've got like a Zoe on your team, but the Syndra and then like the Inara Lulu just kind of goes wild. Oh my god, DK just got 3-0'd. Yo, that's insane, man. Crazy. 3-0 BFX. I didn't expect a 3-0. Damn, crazy. DK knockout T1, then get blasted by BFX. Crazy. Oh, we have Warhound skins. These are new skins. Oh, they're like... I don't even know what the design philosophy is. Oh, they're April Fool's... There are April Fool's skins as well. Like, there's a... What the hell is this April Fool's Blitzcrank skin? Is that like an arcade Blitzcrank? Wait, they're doing Warhound skins for dogs and they don't have Nasus? Are you kidding me? What? And the best part is BFX is going to get 3-0'd in finals. Yeah, I mean, I do think that BFX stand a slightly better chance than DK would have been, but which of those teams do you think is going to take games off of like GENG consistently? Right? I suppose DK did in the first time, right? BFX... Dunno, I mean, their bot lane's very good. Maybe if you win bot lane, it flips them up. Maybe. Hey, Skylands, thanks for following, appreciate you. Okay, let's, what's over here? Oh yeah, and reminder folks, after the stream, I will be playing some more Resident Evil Requiem. We're going to be doing a game review of it. It's going to be myself, Monty, Doa, and Jamada, so us four are going to be doing, yeah. Actually, Monty's finished the game now, crazy. Okay. Have I been enjoying Resident Evil? I've been really enjoying it. Now, I know that Monty has some strong negative opinions on the game. Yeah, he has some pretty strong negative opinions on the game, so, yeah. It'll be very interesting to do the review with him, because he's been less positive on the whole thing. But, you know, Jamada and I have both been enjoying it so far. Like I said, I've played about 5 hours of it. I don't know how long the game is, but I got through all of the East Wing first. Most of the way through the West Wing now. This is like, story-wise, QE. Story-wise. Compliment for Duo. Let me have a think. You know, the only way in which Resident Evil Requiem would be better is if they had actually the best champion in League of Legends is one of the great enemy monster designs, which is Bel'Veth. You know, I think that for the next Resident Evil game, realistically, they need to hire someone with great knowledge on Bel'Veth and great understanding of what they can bring to any game scenario, and that's why I think Duo should be developing the next Resident Evil game. It's as simple as that. It's all about the Bel'Veth power. I saw a streamer finish the game in around 12 hours. I don't think I'm going stupidly quickly, but I don't think I'm going that slowly either, so hopefully I'll be able to finish it in the next couple of days then. So I'll get another couple of hours in. I can only stream up until about 4 CET today. So that's in, well, about 4 hours. So I'll probably get about 3 hours of the game in after the games if it goes to 3 here. So I'll do that. And then tomorrow we have IG NIP. I don't have any time constraints tomorrow, so that should be fine. Onto stage we go, though. We should be getting into the draft. W will have to mount, at this point, a reverse sweep. You right?
Yeah, fine. So it's not quite in our opening hurt stage, but I can just feel it coming up on me, Alex.
Yeah.
I can't tell storms yet.
Oh yeah, true. That's the thing. When you're old, your joints start to ache when there's a storm coming.
So they say. Yes.
Well, no, it's a documented phenomenon.
Yeah. Well, why? What is that from? By the way,
Probably pressure. Changing pressure
probably.
Changes things.
Well, so thank you all for the load of follows. I really appreciate it, as I'm sure Alex does as well.
Yes, thank you, XOX. Once
Lot of
again, that
kisses
is
and hugs.
XOX. That, or like, they're just like really like stock cubes, like the OXO cubes.
Ah, I just gonna call them OXO if it was really bad.
Yeah. For those of you that don't know, there's like a brand of like chicken, beef, vegetable stock, like in these little cubes called OXO in the UK. Are they elsewhere too? Anyway, we have them in the UK.
It's like Bisto is like the gravy brand for the UK. Like, if everyone knows Bisto. And I don't know whether that's true of the rest of the world.
It had really good marketing. Is the thing.
Bisto. Yeah, it's the one.
Very Yorkshire.
Very indeed.
Getting into the draft, though, those are the lights. You hear the music. Time to dance into Game 3, and perhaps the last dance for WE at this playoffs. First 2 games have been fairly dominant, Sam.
They have.
Honestly, WE have not really been able to activate their team fights in the way they want to. The mid-game has been where things have actually fallen apart most for them. Top Esports shows red side, actually, as side of the map. They've been one of the few teams to actually choose that. We're getting into that third draft then.
Indeed. So, WE, some cool drafting moments. Monkey getting a hold of his Viego. Again, not the best champion right now, but Monkey, a very confident pilot of the champion, nearly popped off in that game. He was one of those few people who had those kind of moments where we wondered, what if that one big Viego reset combo montage towards that bot side jungle, all that kind of thing. Or blue side, bot side jungle. There's a better way of phrasing that. Either way, that didn't necessarily end up coming to fruition for them. So they're going to notice something a little different. Karrius is going to get a hold of his Rise. Does Cream have some answers into it? We've seen things like the Anivia across the end, and also, of course, the Cassiopeia.
You can also Talia if you want to match global to global. You can go Galio as well. There are different options. Going towards that Shin's out, powerful mid jungle, and the Cassiopeia, as you were calling out, is more of the direct lane counter locked in strong 2v2 from Top Esports.
We did see in the game 5 the other day, though, against AL, was the fact that the Cassiopeia can get outranged by things like the Ezreal. I wonder whether that's an option, just stay away from where the Cassiopeia is.
The reason that worked so well in that game was Kha'Zix's W's and then also the TF Gold powered fire cannon as well. It was more like a whole team you couldn't interact with beyond a certain point, which is why we were looking at, realistically, anyone's legend in that game 5, maybe the Milio would have given them the range that they needed. Maybe. It's easier to say on retrospect now. We said it in the draft, they picked the Braum instead. And that did lead to that range discrepancy. You're absolutely right, though. WE, very long-range bot lane. Blitzcrank is pretty good into double range, though. Funny, if you go for a hook champion, you're pretty happy here.
I think there's a few juicy targets to be sure, and Nautilus is one of my favourite answers into Ezreal anyway, because he's got so much CC, and he only gets to Arcane Shift bits of it. It can be very challenging for him to manage. Things like the Ahri, there's a certain ability to drag them so far away that it can be a little problematic for them with Nautilus. Can lock him down a little bit.
There you go. So good to see you. Good to see you, Gato. I think actually looking at the misfortunes, the W should ban that one away. Olaf away from Cube, so presumably top Esports looking to pick up something like a Renekton or a tank in that top side to play for double carry backline.
I appreciate the fact that we've got a cat in trousers in chat. But do you know Puss in Boots? Are you like cousins? What's the angle here?
They just go to the same like suit outlet.
Ah, I see.
They have the same tailor.
Puss in Boots is fan fiction alter ego.
Oh, God. Trundle band away as well. So, yeah, top Esports really want a tank matchup. They're probably looking at something like the Cassante or the Ornn at this point, one of the two. And I think with Cube being really not great on a lot of his big matchups right now, I think it makes a lot of sense to be forcing a tank matchup where he can't really punish you. Kai'Sa away from Jachi. Nymaera needs to find something that does combo up well with the Nautilus, but doesn't get blasted too hard by the Ezreal Karma.
Also, those are kind of Monkey's pocket picks into things like the Shinzao, into some of those, like if he needs to carry, he's often default to those. Even things like the Trundle, when it was more out of meta, he was still finding options for it. We're thinking Ashe Seraphine here.
Well, you've locked the Nautilus, so it'll either be
Ashe
the Ashe with the Nautilus or the Corki, both of them strong in lane. The Ashe is fine here. Yeah, I like that. The Ashe is fine. Jachi played a lot of that he played a couple of games of that in regular season. He had one game where he fell really far behind and still managed to get like a 1v2 outplay in mid lane. The guy's really good at finding his damage turnaround. He's not dissimilar to, your Jaculovs, your Diablos, your aggressive AD carries of the world, which they very much look for the outplay or die trying.
Indeed. Are we thinking Lee Sin at this point needs some early skirmishing to try and get some things rolling? There would be certainly a choice of all time, but I think the Cassante, that tank option that was kind of being debated, will be locked in for Cube. Mundo here is good into a lot of the CC initial, or the initial CC checks.
So the Jax would be the Shinzao counter in the jungle, because you don't get knocked up by the auto attack. You're not fantastic in jungle, though, against Nautilus or Cassiopeia, though. Jace comes in instead. It'll be a lesser seen Jace jungle on the current patch after all of the nerfs to the champion's clear speed. Last pick for top lane for 369. We assumed that top Esports would be the ones picking out a tank there, but now you see swishy backline, Jace in the jungle. You have a bit more opportunity to play your own side of things. He did play the Gangplank versus JDG. He played it not great. Choose any of his tank matchups top side. I think that's what they drafted for. They will go towards the Ornn. The Cassante into the Ornn. Cassante can actually get pushed there, and the All-Out gives you some real threat against tanks. So you have Omnivamp just going to keep them in the extended trade. 369 is very happy to bring another engaged threat alongside the Ashe and Nautilus.
Indeed he is. So, WE with a fairly high damage comp, and largely a poke comp with a little bit of that kind of split pushing threat, but limited CC, even if the range is good. And obviously a decent amount of mobility, acceleration gate, rise in general, Arcane Shift from the Ezreal, and the Defiance from Karma, all good ways to keep people up and rolling. For top Esports, a lot more teamfight heavy. A lot more pick. The Ashe, the Shinzao, the Ornn, the Nautilus, all looking to brawl him forwards and catch one of those much squishier, if longer range carries and make sure they stay down.
Yeah. W has the range advantage with their double poke. The engage advantage very much over to the side of top Esports, though, and they do have some decent matchups. They have a fine matchup for the Ornn, and the Cassiopeia Shinzao should be winning out in the mid-jungle 2v2. They need to survive that bot lane. That has been a problem for them. I do think that Jachi and Fungi have fallen behind a fair bit in most of our games so far. However, hasn't really led to anything for W in terms of game-winning advantages. W have one last shot in this playoffs, potentially, to keep themselves in it. They lose this game, they are out. They will be one of our first teams out. In fact, our very first team out from the playoffs itself. Made it through from Group Perseverance. They will be in Group Ascend the next split. They've earned that right, but they haven't really earned the right to go further in this playoffs so far.
Party.
Almost.
There was a shake of the head there.
Yeah, the team W Eastie Boys. Level 1 potential here.
It's going to be a bit of a hook into a wall. Won't lead to too much. We'll let the Gyos take course now.
I haven't really heard the Gyos on the stream today, actually. Yeah, we did see that level 1 group up, which is why I was worried about What's happening there? Fungyue will start down his pots. He's actually used both pots there as Fungyue, so he's going to be down a lot of affected HP, which does not help the bot lane situation at all.
Ezreal Karma notoriously quite scary once they get rolling, but a good level 1 hook there onto Yao. He's going to force a flash and the heal, so you know what? Those health pots kind of looks about now.
Well, we'll see what happens when the next mantra comes up. Okay, it's just the one there onto Fungyue, doesn't hit both. Really like how they turned that fight onto the Ezreal halfway through the play. About is a notable Ezreal player, played a lot in the LCK CL. One of the most notable things about this Ezreal is that he goes melee range, quite a lot of it hit. One of the reasons why people like myself, I think I saw Aragon say something about it too, is, you know, it didn't really feel like he was Rookie of the Split despite getting the award. Yes, WE made their way through into the playoffs, but I really think a player like Fungyue on the other side has been somewhat hard done by. He had a really good first split for himself. About did walk away with that Rookie of the Split, but perhaps he can prove us wrong here.
Maybe won't be quite as simple, or WE, or rather, gonna hope it's not quite so simple as it has been for top esports on the whole. Not the top esports have been perfect. We've seen some flaws here and there, to be sure.
Zombie Rise, good choice. Zombie Rise is a very cool skin. I like the Cannoneer one, the Bilgewater one. With the cannonballs coming out as the Qs are really, really cool. Spirit Blossom Cassiopeia, fun skin on the other side. That, for those of you who were not there during like the original Spirit Blossom event with the visual novel, comments were made about Cassiopeia, which have lived on in infamy.
Yes. Because there's some of the options you could have. Could you please
crush my spine, Cassiopeia?
It's like choking, but with a significantly more scary moment.
Well, you see if W's bot lane are choking this early bot lane pressure.
Oh boy, flash on fours. There's the hook, and unfortunately, Yao Yao's flash leaves about out to die.
Fungyue flashes for the hook. Ezreal doesn't have enough mobility. The thing about Ezreal is you don't build that much move speed early. You're definitely a champion which can get away from the first skill shot, but in extended play, you're not necessarily someone walking away at Mach 5. Gets caught. Both flashes blown by both bot laners to WE. They really wanted this bot lane to get off to an advantage, and it just hasn't happened.
No, it hasn't. Cream now getting the shove in the mid lane, but again, top esports with a good early lane lead is great news. And again, that's for Jachi and Fungyue, who can be, to say the least, a little mercurial in lane. They don't lose gracefully, and they do not lane peacefully. So when it goes wrong, it tends to go wrong in quite spectacular fashion. When it goes right, though, they can look to get very impressive very quickly. Obviously pulled out the Lucian last game. Ashe Nautilus, not exactly a low interaction lane either. Monkey with a potential gank behind here, looking for a good shock blast angle onto Cream. Doesn't know where they are. Waiting, sees them. Going to try and just bait a shot or two. Won't find it, but will at least delay the reset.
Early lane for the Cassiopeia going fine. Top Esports put their resources into that bot lane to get them ahead. First item, full boots for Jachi. That's really nice against the Ezreal and the Karma. It allows you to outstep those skill shots, and it means that the move speed disparity is really high. It was a hitbox tonight for that Q on Jachi. Actually, nice play from about there. Yaya is jumping forwards with that root, but here comes Nio again. They don't have this, Sam. They don't have flashes. They could die here.
No, they don't. There is the flash. The wind becomes lightning. About is going to go down, and Yao Yao tries to run away, but this Karma, she's got a shield of ice, but into all the fire and fury the top esports can muster, and a Shinzao turning up bot lane and ruining people's day. I feel like I saw that just yesterday.
Yeah, it's becoming a bit of a commonplace thing again. We saw this a lot in 2022 through 2024, really, just the 3v3 bot lane, just run bot lane, and if you win bot lane, it's not just one person put behind, it's two, because it's the support and it's the AD carry. Knock up from 369. Slight CS advantage for Cube will go down to almost nothing. With the last 3 minions held outside towers, 369 will be happy with that. It's another game where WE have not found a great entrance into the game. I was saying in the draft and a little bit before this game that it was WE's mid-game has been an issue. The early games have sometimes had value, but I think in this game here, you can see that it's not even really been that. Monkey hasn't had an opportunity to impact the game. The lanes from WE are not playing safe enough, and they don't have the information to know when they're getting wrapped around on bot lane like this. They use another summoner, but now it's coming down.
Indeed they do.
Good Alcon shift away. That will actually end up saving them. Naya was there. He is still on cooldown, though, just so you know, in case a big fight does happen.
Was a little bit nervous myself, I agree.
Double fire from Monkey. He's been farming up well. The cost of this for Nio is that Monkey is very far ahead. Potential Realm Warp coming in.
They do indeed look to jump on top of the Nautilus, who throws out a Wrath of the Titans, and it will mean nothing.
Okay. Titan's Wrath shield.
I know,
Will
I
not
said it that way
save
around, I
him.
know.
Yeah. Wasn't Wrath of the Titans like that 180s movie?
Yeah, they did the remake that wasn't great either.
Yeah. I remember that now.
Dad really enjoyed it.
Yes, hang on, Monkey. He is 2 levels up onto Nio, but I will say, just with how he doesn't have components right now, Nio, especially with Jet Triple, could have looked for a play there. Nio's dropped a lot of farming time. At level 6, you're expected to be level 6 minutes from level 6. Central fighter from 369 gets the wave clear through, gets a brittle proc down. Not that much else though.
Monkey's stolen a couple camps here and there as well, and that's fine. But the thing is, Nio as well, yes, you're behind in terms of those levels, but the price paid to get that bot lane ahead, I think it's probably worthwhile. You still actually end it with a mild gold lead. 369 is going to have to flash out here, I think. Is he going to? Yeah, he is.
I actually wonder if he could have stuck around and looked for a brittle proc on there, but he doesn't want to lose too much HP. Cream obviously sees Karis leave lane, get something there. Now he's getting jumped onto. He's well out of sorts here.
He's very, very deep. There's the root from the focus resolve. The shot blast lands onto the wave and not onto the Cassiopeia. Oh dear.
Monkey gets it onto a minion, which is not really where you want that damage to go. Cream has been caught out in mid lane a few times in this series. We saw Monkey punish him, well, once really early on. Oh, the miasma's up. That's a dead Karis. Fungyue, awesome hook to catch him out. But why was Karis walking up like that? Mistake from him. Top Esports been fired back on a little bit now, and I suppose there is that worry of the jungle XP differential, but Top Esports are getting ahead in key roles now with that kill going over towards Cream, making up for the kill which Karis got on the roam.
Damage done. Very successfully so. 369. Just trading up top side. There's a ghost bot from Karis who backsteps that petrifying gaze. It all looks so good. And then the shot blasts.
It hits the minion. That might have been the difference. Flash away from to the skies too means that Cream he managed to keep all of his HP from that point. And then Karis, I mean, he's half HP. Maybe thinking it was a low health Cassiopeia. Minion dies though unexpectedly. Doesn't flash the hook. Goes into the miasma. Can't flash after then. Goes down.
Indeed, and so the play from WE ends up being a play instead for Top Esports. Flash away from Karis, this time from the look from Fungyue, who is all over the place this game.
Yeah, Fungyue's been... Look, he died that one time to the Realm War bot side. I think Fungyue's been great. I think he's been fantastic. I think that he's been one of our better supports even within the LPL, despite it being a rookie split. We've had a couple of exciting support performances across the split, honestly. You know, Vampire's starting to gain consistency in a way which he hasn't before. Seeing players like Airher do the same. I think that Fungyue is looking pretty good. Most of the time I felt not fantastic about LPL support pool, and I think, you know, compared to LCK, there is still a discrepancy there. But I feel better about it than I would have done in maybe some years past.
Yeah, I agree. And it's like there's still some work to be done to see how some of these players shape up in higher pressure scenarios, international scenarios, against some of the very best in the world. And I tell you now, the LCK supports are a scary bunch.
They are, and I think this leads on from a conversation about what happens to the LPL support pool when Ming retired, when, you know, we saw Missing start to fall off, Crisp started to fall off. We, had a lot of questions about, well, I mean, even players like Hung, international experience, but didn't really manage to capitalize that much on it. Felt like we lost a lot of our better support players, and then things kind of hang on. Q could have gone through the wall there, didn't quite get the angle. Pass it a bit late. He gets away. 369 gets away with that one.
Indeed, gets to reset with no flash on 369 either. Could have made things quite challenging there, to say the least. Will instead get that reset. No, he actually does turn that around as that becomes the petrifying gaze look from Cream, but Karis is swift enough and wise to the snake's wiles, and will back away and will not get his spine crushed.
Sometimes you can. Sometimes you can outplay people as the Cassiopeia by queuing behind them and getting them to step forwards into your ult. Sometimes you can do that. Cream was trying to freeze him into the miasma. That would have been a death if he had got the stun. Sometimes it's okay just to land the ult for the damage too. It does get the slow even if they're facing away from you. Jachi doesn't have cleanse, does have the tier 2 boots as we were saying though, and is able to walk away from Yao Yao. So what's happening across the rest of the map? Well, it's a fairly even game in terms of gold again. It's just that with that bot lane of the Ezreal Karma not doing as they're supposed to, W are not at the lead they would love to have here. Potential jump onto Karis, and the arrow lands right onto him. No summoners and no hope of an escape. That was an awesome shot from Jachi.
All the world on one arrow, and Jachi is heat-seeking there. He's down a bit of CS, but he's got a wave to pick up, and I think he's going to be feeling rather smug about that one.
Oh, he's got to. Picks himself up an assist from across the map. That's one of the dangerous things about the Ashe is that once they start leaving that bot lane, look at the vision control in the bot side jungle. I mean, you can see bits and pieces of it on the minimap there. That is supposed to track out where the arrow is meant to come from, as well as the enemy jungle, because you're meant to have that advanced notice of where that arrow is coming from. Doesn't matter if the Ashe is back in base, because you don't get to ward the enemy nexus. Well, not at this point in the game. Jatchi fires it from an unexpected angle. Karis goes down. It's a full speed arrow as well. It speeds up as it goes across the map. Great shot by Jatchi. Watch this again. They don't have wards going down the arrow's flight path. Teleport in onto the Ashe arrow at the end of it. That is perfection. Awesome shot and a very well organized play from Top Esports.
And this is why we like these wards in the lane there to spot people out in the waves. About gets hit by the depth charge. Monkey's around. Decent chunk. That'll actually be a heal from Yao Yao. So maybe getting a little bit more. The shot blast lands on Pongyo. He'll heal in turn as well, just in case there would be any follow-up. Niall also around now. Gonna get the form changes Monkey turn towards that Mercury Hammer.
He actually took some heavy damage there. Needs to be a little bit careful about. Good poke with the Essence Flux. The Mystic Shots. Good step away there from that one. Toppy's all spoiling for a fight. Can still see there's that level advantage for Monkey in the jungle. Now has been much more focused on getting plays across the map, and I think it has largely worked out for him. They've managed to flip those lanes. However, Jace is going to be a threat. Shot Blast goes into the Titan's Wrath shield. And we're still looking at a 3v3. The Ashe arrow comes through, and the Jace is getting hooked.
Good turnaround there as down goes Fungo. Monkey does get that one, but it's immediately traded back as Shinsao says absolutely not for free. Jatchi getting caught by that Mystic Shot makes things a bit trickier, but Cream has got a lot of fangs. Well, twins of them. And it's twin season, I suppose.
2 for 1 in the kills. Top Esports outplaying in the bot side. Monkey goes down. Nio picks up some more kills. Been very impressed with Nio again this series. Top Esports, I cannot stress enough how much I thought this split was doomed when they brought in Fungyue and Nio. These players of all people, surely that won't work out for them. They've been much better than I gave them credit for. They've grown into these roles very well. Now, there's still a chance that they get replaced going further into the year if Top Esports want to be like a world's roster, you know, a roster which can go to that world championship. Perhaps they think that they need to make multiple changes. I guess it'll depend on the opinion of someone like Jackulov and his lane partner. He comes back into the squad. Potential of Jackie getting jumped onto here based onto those roams around the lane, but won't be completely caught out. Top Esports will be safe for now.
Happy enough with that one. Monkey gets himself a bit of a jungle quest moment there. That's all well and good. It's farming well. And again, there's something about the Jace where like you don't actually do that much damage until you've got a little bit of gold behind you. You need to get to an item and a half, 2 items, to really start hurting people and threatening people with those shot blasts.
And I have to say, well, look, I think Nio has been the better jungler. He has been great. I don't think that means that Monkey's been bad. I just think that Monkey has been playing with, you know, lanes which aren't really understanding the threat that they're under. I do feel bad for Monkey. I think he has been WE's best player across this split, across this series. I think
he did.
I almost got it. Very nearly got it. But, you know, Monkey, it feels bad for him, you know, as a player that was probably the best part of WE last year too, thinking about it. You know, but a lot of that was a synergy with Vampire. Vampire, of course, went on to JDG. Monkey didn't get a top team spot. He was kind of stuck on WE with trying to retrofit, trying to switch out the parts which have been stripped from it. Monkey still ended up being a very good force for WE. Just hasn't quite been able to organize the troops really to an extent where the lanes can combo with him better against top tier on position.
A little bit of an ability to their flash rune prison means that Fungyue will not find play. He was looking there with the staggering blows. Still gets rid of those wards. Harris and crew are still on both sides.
Rather, it was a flash from Fungyue and then he was rune prison. So the Rise still has his available should he want to make that play. Fungyue not able to follow up though, as you were saying, caught after he used that flash.
Clarification with raising there. Jatchi could actually be in danger as About Lowe's looking for that melee range Ezreal play. Jatchi with the barrier. Doesn't have more to work with and About still got his, so that is a nice kill.
There's going to be a death onto Karma on the other side, though. Cream uses that ultimate. About this Ezreal has been a powerful champion for him. Rookie of the split, getting a good play there. Teleport behind them.
Karis might still die to the poison won't quite. Nio may be asked to throw out that Crescent Guard. Out comes the teleport. Cassandra is here. Nio flashing, loses vision, does Q, so he can't all out. Now Fungyue is here. Lands a hook. That's onto a scary member. The true shot barrage is not here as Cream does unspeakable damage towards that Jace, who absolutely gets melted. Nio dashes away. Cube is still a monster, but you are far into a Cassiopeia is beginning to burn you down. Poison after poison after poison, and there is no antidote in sight. Foggy with another hug. Cream continuing to hug. Karis has to backstep, flashing under the turret. The Room Prison. Cube tries to go into Fungi and will get that kill. At least something back. The Cassante still with a lot of health to work with is going to get melted down as the Conqueror stacks, and Cream says no more and picks up another.
I have not seen a fight like that where a Cassiopeia is free hitting for about 30 seconds. Cream gets an absurd amount of damage across the play, and it even started before the Observer came down there. Ultimate used onto Yao Yao, as we were saying. Sometimes use it just for the slow, and then the miasma comes down, and you wish you'd flashed earlier. Gets himself a ton of damage through. Has the Swift Marches too to just get the increased movement speed. If he hits a Q, he goes at Speedy Snake speeds. That's the lesser known character from Metal Gear Solid. You've got Solid Snake and Speedy Snake.
Of course.
This one's somehow made its way into a crossover into Summoner's Rift. 369 has no mana, does have a bit of HP. Flashes away from the play top side.
Two disguise comes in. There's now Cream behind who's teleported in. Speaking of Speedy Snake. Monkey will get blasted by said snake, wishing there was a cardboard box to hide in, I guess.
I'm trying to teleport behind the team. From the clap from my tail's too loud and it keeps alerting them. Never let me cast a Cassiopeia again, son. Top Esports, probably at this point, looking to close the series. They're 4K ahead before 20 minutes. They have 2 dragons up. They have 3 grubs. They have a herald. They have everything, Sam. And Cream on the Cassiopeia has been very, very satisfying to watch. Very often, it feels like Cassiopeia is relegated to just being a lane counter. Doesn't really end up getting much value in team fights afterwards because they just get dove onto, can't quite find themselves the angle to do the damage because they're a very low-range champion. They can struggle to get into DPS spots. Cream's done that consistently now and has been the difference maker in this mid-game.
Dark Seal stacks are in. Knowing this man, it may well be a Magi's angle for him at this point. He's feeling real strong.
Yeah, and you know that would give him the extra move speed, which then go back into the Swift Marches, because Swift March gives you some adaptive force based off your move speed. Yeah, you should absolutely go for that. He has to survive here first, though. Has Flash.
Maybe has to burn it. He's got the Sarah's flashed away from the shot block, but pull back, flash in from Monkey. They get the kill.
Should have flashed earlier. Didn't realize the threat he was under goes down. Herald does take down this mid lane turret, and there's a Realm Mob to come defend. Should be fine for Knife to crash in, get out, though. Cream, first death of the game, loses 5 Dark Seal stacks. Bit of an awkward moment, tried to play conservatively, should have been way more respectful.
Yeah, I think in the end, I'm trying to think what he flashed. I think it was the Shock Blast.
Yeah, he flashed the Shock Blast. It's just that if he gets hit by the Q3 afterwards, he probably should have flashed out of melee range of the Sensei beforehand at the start of the play. Missed his Qs for the move speed, that might have ended up saving him. Top Esports will go on to the Dragon now. No, we'll claim that third one. It's the third Dragon going towards a later Cloud Soul, should they get the next one.
Monkey at least in a decent spot in this game. He's got towards the Serpent's Fang second rather than something like the Opportunity. When you're into Seraphs, when you're into what will likely be things like the Titans. What is the name of the Nautilus Shield?
Titan's Wrath.
It is Titan's Wrath. It is
I said that earlier.
Yeah, and it was.
Remember the whole Wrath of the Titans thing, Sam?
Because
Do you smell toast?
No, because I was conflating with Riptide for a second. I was just trying to remember which way around.
Yeah. Riptide's the Titan's Wrath is the shield. Yeah,
indeed. Sorry, medic. Don't disown me as a play-by-play for forgetting your champions' names. But yes, no, Serpent's Fang. I think when you're into a fair number of shield,
I'm gonna have to start gas-lamping more play-by-plays into saying wrong ability names.
Please don't do that.
Yeah.
I'm the one who will suffer from this more, so please don't. Please don't.
Tell me more about which one is Unstoppable Force, Unstoppable Onslaught of Shadows, and other things. Cube is going to go all out, will go Unstoppable, but it doesn't stop the second part of the Ram Jam, and whoa, Black Betty! Swan Song is coming to an end. The Sante will fall.
Sante gets mashed there. Nio.
For those of you that don't know, Black Betty's a song by the Ram Jam. It's a really good song.
Oh, I didn't actually know that.
Yeah, that's why I said it. Well, that's the song.
That makes sense. I didn't know.
Or rather, that's a
rather, I didn't know that was done by Ram Jam. I didn't know that was.
That's why I
band.
said it, Sam. It's a good song.
It is. That's great. I knew Black Betty. I just didn't know the band.
Yeah. Anyway, mid lane turret, forced low but not taken down. Good accuracy from about. Good accuracy. Monkey 2 flips the flash away.
Gets away with that, but that was pretty close. Out comes the arrow. Monkey going to get that cleansed with the Mikhails, but it is now down. But that is the power of the Mikhails into the Ash.
Top lane turret being forced down by Jatshi. However, outer turret taken by Karis. There are objective bounties for the side of WE, by the way. One of them goes over towards Karis. Some much needed gold for him as he's very far behind the curve as it stands.
Does get hit there by that Bellows Breath and the Searing Charge combo on top of that Volcanic Rupture. Should be able to speed away here. There is a couple walls behind, but I don't think we're going to see the teleport pulled at this point, especially with things like Dragon to consider in a couple minutes. I think Top Esports would rather hold those key repositioning summoners for that major objective.
Recall will come through, the empowered version by the Cassiopeia, who has a Rylise now as well. That will be painful to play against. Top Esports 369 loses his home guard. He's tagged by the Ezreal ultimate. Kind of annoying, because obviously everyone gets home guards now.
Does that lose him a turret?
No, it doesn't. He'll be there in time. I mean, Sante's not going to be able to push in that wave quite soon enough. We'll stop him from getting there quite as early. It doesn't change that much, though.
Will not be able to stop the wave crash, per se, I suppose, but that is the way of these things sometimes.
Someone said the sound was slightly off, so I don't know whether you found that true as well, Sam, but I'm going to refresh that slightly.
I hadn't, but I'll listen and make sure it's okay.
I'm going to trust chat more.
Yeah, that's fair.
Sorry, Sam, I'm going to trust chat
fair.
more. We've had this incident before.
We have indeed.
Cube has the flash, as you're like, safe up here. Karis could have potentially realm warped up to the play. Top Esports, not rattled at all here now, really. Got a couple of minutes till that soul potentially comes through.
Is the Rod of Ages ticking up for the Cassiopeia. Very, very
Good
scary.
damage.
Ooh, Jachi forced to flash away. Just got an Ornn upgrade as well. He was thinking he was a bit more safe than that, and he very much is not about on this Ezreal. Trying to find some ways back in. The arrow lands onto him, but he buffers through it well. Can he do the same, though, with the Call of the Forge God coming? And now flashes, holds it well, but now here comes the rest of Top Esports, and there's only so much mobility this poor Ezreal has, and most of it is now absolutely unnecessary because he's looking at a grey screen.
Decision-making over mechanics. Gets a good outplay onto Jachi, forces out the flash, but then he's overextended, and Ezreal only has one E. And even with the flash, can't escape. That will lead to the Baron. That will overlap into the Dragon. The mistake of the overstay from about will cost WE this game and the series. I suppose the game was going apart anyway up until this point, but that certainly didn't help.
It didn't. Monkey looking to potentially come back on ahead. Thank you very much for the Ray, by the way.
Hope you enjoyed your own stream. Welcome in. Just seeing the end of this series, we believe, between Top Esports and WE. Hope you had a good stream there. What were you good? What were you guys up to? How were things over there? Because we can fill you in on what's happened here. Top Esports largely just brutalized Team WE.
Yeah, it's been pretty one-sided, guys.
Last time we saw these guys, we saw them go to a 5-game series in the play-in 2 playoffs, the Knights Road stage or the Knights Rivals stage. This has not been nearly as close. It was a 5-game series that time. It's basically going to be a 3-game here. I think that Monkey's had a pretty good time of things on WE in the jungle, but realistically, the lanes have almost all been better from Top Esports. Bot lane has gotten ahead early from Bath and Yayo, struggled to transfer that into team fights. We're going low, but not low enough.
Nayo misses when becomes lightning, so he's not actually here at the play when he would like to be. It's a little delayed for the Shinto to get in. The arrow lands, the flash away happens. The Mikhail's required. Flash for the count for the Crescent Guard knockback. The Shinsek, so to speak. Nayo goes down, a little bit too eager with that play, as everyone from WE needs to start backing away. They do get that mid lane turret, but Karis trying to flash to get away from Jachi with the Bloodthirst and the barrier. Allows himself to survive there, mash everyone else, and Monkey now is alone in this jungle and gets hit by the Noxious Blast. There is no way for Jace to go. He'll Thundering Blow somewhere away. There's a pillar in front of him. He'll to the skies for the way to try and clear it up, but there's Baron minions for Top Esports and a dead team to consider.
Venomous at Top Esports as Cream gets the rundown again. He has 23 Magi stacks. Cream has been styling on WE in this game. He is absolutely my player of the game. This Cassiopeia has been game-changing. Cream is a player who has peaked very high within the LPL, sometimes struggled, though, to get that consistency, and sometimes struggled to have those peak moments at the right times. Here in this series, it's worked out very well, and an unfortunate flash away by Cube actually ends up landing other teammates into trouble. Can't quite get the knockback and now onto the AD carry because he had the mark onto about, meant that he flipped back Yayo instead. Still got really good damage. It's maybe not the target which he wanted. Carry tried to flash over the wall, instead flashed somewhat impotently there, and got blasted by Ashe anyway.
And Cream at level 16 with all of these items is just such a menace. Rylise plus your own move speed from Swift March and stuff. The move speed discrepancies Cassiopeias have these days is utterly disgusting.
Now, oh my god, the arrow's in as well.
Oh, depth charge, Nayo behind, Yao Yao's a dead man. Those are realm warp him out, that's not bad, but it means actually that Karis has nowhere to go. You saved your AD carry, but your own life is forfeit. Cube, now on the run, he's got a big shield from a teleport, but all it means is slightly longer for him to die. He gets run around, the Rylise with his Cassante can't move fast at all.
He's gone down. WE lose what I think will be the last true fight of this series. Top Esports, a team which are massively overperforming my expectations from the start of this year. I think that Nio and Fungoy have comboed up well, and I think that Cream has started to come into his own a little bit more as well. Top Esports, they will be 3-0ing this series. Cream is walking forward completely unperturbed, just needs to hit one of those Qs and then someone's dying. Sadly, he misses 2 in a row. It does mean that WE can back off. Won't be able to save their inhibitor turret though.
This time around, Cream eats a bit of damage there, which was a bit problematic, but he'll be just fine.
Second inhibitor turret goes down, and the inhibitor along with it. Nio's going in.
Whoa, that one's going to be scary. Nio needs to back away. The Crescent Guard comes out. Just about survives. Is there a teleport angle behind? No, I think the resets will come on through, and Top Esports can't end the game right now, but they have broken base.
There's no Realm Warp and no teleport available for
Two-shot barrage.
That will kill.
Ooh, my days. Raptor respawn and a dodge into there will save his life.
I lied. Turns out that actually the lifesteal on the cam ends up saving his life somewhat. Now, my dude, you do need to get out of there at some point. You gotta be a little careful. Hang on, Yayo. Gotta be careful there. If he gets caught, he will die again. Nio has done a great job of catching out Yayo in this game, 0-6. I thought that Yayo in first game of the series on the Bard was really good, but beyond that point, struggled to have an impact.
Not been simple for him, unfortunately. I completely agree. Cream is so quick in those speed zones. Look how fast that Cassiopeia is!
I'm telling you, it's Speedy Snake, a new entry to the Metal Gear Solid franchise. It's a weapon to defeat Metal Gear Solid, Sam. It's
of course.
Speedy Snake. I don't know.
Not directed by Hideo Kojima. In they come. That'll be Cube coming on forward. Trying on to Speedy Snake. Not again. Find the cardboard box, Speedy Snake. It's got a Conqueror stack. Maybe that's the weapon required. The Twin Fangs come on forwards, looking to do some real damage to the back end of this one. A Venom Snake, perhaps. So he's so bloody quick. Cube is trying his best. Karras also throwing out all of these overloads. The problem is he can't hit them on the Snake that's moving at Mach 5. You can't hit the Snake at Mach 6.
Oh, he flies like a Sidewinder into the hull of WE, and the ship is sinking. Top Esports thrash WE. There will be no silver scrapes. There's not going to be anything close to it. This was a ritual execution. The Snake Lady herself overseeing proceedings.
And towards the Nexus we go. Top Esports stay on top. WE look on and wonder what could have been. 0-3, and Top Esports crack their neck and look higher through the bracket.
Crack their knuckles?
Crack their neck.
Neck? I thought you said their knuck. I'm like, is he their
I
neck
might have
now?
just mispronounced it. Nuke is over here now, yes.
Yes, crack their nuclear. He's Cassiopeia too, but I will say something. I think I would have preferred Cream here today. Cream was really
he had a great day.
He was fantastic. I think the Ari game was a little bit ropey, but that Cassiopeia game, smile on a 369 space too. Good to see from him. This was a very solid series from Top Esports. I think that there are still some worries about the bot lane laning phase. I do think that there are some issues there. But on the whole, I'm happy with how Top Esports played here, and their drafts were better today. If you looked at how they played against JDG, I think they should have won that series.
Yep.
I think that their drafts in Game 2... Oh my god, did you just knock something off? You just knocked a gem off of the...
Oh!
Wait, hang on. What is that? Hang on, no, there's something else there, because there are different gems being put onto that. Was that intentional?
Oh, is this for like the people who get to say, maybe it's putting WE's gem in. So I think a few esports things started doing this after like, some of the...
So I didn't understand this. Yes, go on.
So basically there is some other international tournaments from basically WC, but basically done some key things. I think a lot of other esports are trying to take on, but it's quite cool concept.
Yeah, so I had an idea for LEC, and they did say no to this, but I think someone should try this. Well, when you beat a team, you have to hand... They then... So if they end up qualifying you for an important event, they have to go and sign your plane ticket. So you hand them like this giant sheet, this giant, like, you know, like the banknote. Yeah. They have to sign your check. They have to sign your ticket.
Welcome for making it.
I think what happened here is because Top Esports was knocked out WE, the winning team takes effectively a gem from there in this case and puts it onto the trophy. So losing teams are kind of enshrined in the trophy as those who fell along the way. Top Esports will take WE, put them onto that trophy, and that will be the end of our games today. Is it time to get excited for BLG? Yamato thinks it is. To an extent, yes. I think that they looked really, really good in their last few series, but we've not seen them have to truly 5v5. I don't know we haven't had the proof to show this yet, whether BLG can avoid 5v5 versus JDG in anyone's Legend. They can do against lower tier opposition like Weibo or whoever it was from NIP2, where effectively BLG had to take maybe one true 5v5 across the entirety of their 2 series so far. Ah, some painful looks on the side of WE. They, that wasn't close,
Not to be.
That wasn't close, was it? Fortunate. But yes, in terms of getting excited for BLG, it's the best that they've looked all year. I think Viper and On look very synergized. I think that the 3v3 bot lane looks very good. We need to see what happens when they get pulled into true 5v5. Yeah. We've still not seen that. I also wasn't massively impressed by Bin so far. I think that he's misjudged some laning phases where he's gotten some good trades, set up the wave for something which is just not going to happen with his jungler, and that's got him into some situations too. They're not a perfect team. I think that they still have flaws. I think that teams like Anyone's Legend and JDG will give them issue. The question is, can they confidently and consistently avoid the 5v5s which they've done in the same way?
That was my follow-up thing as well. Like, well, if the other side is, can they just avoid the 5v5s entirely? Because so far they've done a very good job. Basically, it's very rarely taking 5v5s and not making the game about it. And I think a lot of teams, at the minute, have not found a way to stop BLG from making that the game plan, right? And at which point, it's like, well, weren't we supposed to fight around objectives?
Yeah.
No. Yeah. And here's what BLG say.
A farewell from WE, a team which is trying to overcome the changes from last year to this one. Of course, they crashed out of the end of last year. Some roster changes came through. Vampire left, Taeyun left, the top side of the map, which ended up changing. And I don't think they've been awful, but they're definitely not reaching the heady heights that they did in spring of last year, where they knocked out both Top Esports and JDG from the same plots. That's going to be the end of our stream here today. I'm going to get in about a couple of hours, 3.5 hours of Resident Evil.
Hell yeah.
Before we go on. If you're on YouTube, the show will end here. If you're on Twitch, we're going to switch over to playing some Resident Evil
It's going to be a great time, guys.
Resident Evil Requiem, which I played about 5 hours of yesterday. What are you doing the rest of your day, Sam?
I'm going to take 20 minutes to grab myself some lunch, and I'll probably do some streaming myself. So if anyone wants to watch some solo queue, feel free to come join in. But I think the Resident Evil stream looks like it's going to be great fun as well, guys, especially those of you who were there yesterday. At this point, you may as well finish up the story, eh?
Yeah, may as well. Okay, folks, let's get into it. Thanks for casting today, Sam.
Of course, the pleasure as always, Alex.
Always for you as well. Enjoyed that a lot. And we shall get on to Resi. I'm just going to change my camera lens over, and we will get to it over here. Also got to turn on the PlayStation and do some other stuff as well. Let's get into it.
We out? We're out.
You're out, yeah. It's easier to spin it that way.
No, I know. I just want to get this best I can lift it.
Okay, give me 1 second, folks, and we'll get to it. Chose the wrong time to... Oh, yeah, you didn't open the door. Oopsies.
Order of operations I should have done. Shit.
Okay, let me get the PlayStation started. Get my controller on charge as well. Controls under like a load of things I've left on my desk. That's good. Good on me. Oh, I can just use a thingy, can't I? I can use a USB-C. That helps. Okay, 1 second, folks, and then we'll get sorted for this. Gotta go change over my other input as well. Also gonna hope this doesn't crash my PC. I think it's fine for now. Is it an HDMI 2? Is that the one I've got it in? Or is it an HDMI 1? I think it's an HDMI 1. There we go, cool. Okay, folks, if you're on YouTube, the show will end here, and if